right, perfect. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is Nana Kasha. This is the full moon healing ceremony. For 3 hours, we're going to be together live, enjoying these amazing full moon energies. And what's so exciting to me is I just realized with my phone sideways, I'm not sure where to look. So hopefully I'm looking at you. This one or this one? I don't know. Maybe it might be this one. So we're going to play together, and we're going to play because these energies for this full moons are always fun to play in, right? But this one is powerful. I am not an astrologist. That is one area I did not study. Most every other area I kind of did. But however, I find it because everything is energy. And ultimately, the work that I do with myself in my new school, the Mystic Arts Healing School, Healing Academy, light body work, healing work, readings, channeling, psychic work, whatever you want to call it. It's all energy. It's reading energy. It's creating a new relationship with energy. It's fine-tuning my skills and my senses to make it so that I can receive information. I can communicate with more things, right? More energies, more different parts of my body, right? You might be like, what is my hip telling me? And you might go look up Louise Hay. But what you really want to do is start to develop your ability to communicate with your hip and say, what is my hip trying to tell me? You know, it's feeling this or that. And that communication, as you learn that language, right? It's just like learning Spanish or French or something. You're learning a new language. As you get better at it, you trust yourself more. So what is healing? Healing is essentially becoming whole, right? I'm just going to see. It looks like lots of people are saying things. But essentially, healing is changing your vibration, right? That's if you boil everything down. So we're having a healing experience. You've entered a cocoon, a beautiful, energetic, safe space, sacred space that I create every day here, but I've spent the last hour and this morning and last night for a few hours on the roof under the full moon and doing full moon rituals, full moon ceremonies, different activations and energy experiments, tuning in to my guides, my new guides that I've been upgraded to. So if you have your higher self, if you communicate with angels, if you're conscious that you have different energetic guides, maybe you have, animal totems or nature spirits, or you just feel different communication or connection to Mother Mary or whatever it is, right? There's guides everywhere. And so the reason that our foundational course that's starting in June for the Mystic Arts Healing Academy is light body healing is because it's like a manual to how you work. And so healing is becoming aligned with that blueprint of who you came here to be. And everything you've done in your life to right now is perfect, because right now is when things are getting really intense, right? The energies in the world are politically, economically, spiritually, personally, financially. There's so much upheaval. There's so much change. There's so much fear and other things that's being shaken up out of the planet, shaken up out of us, so we can let go of all that heavy energy. Donna, can you mute people? I'm hearing some background there. Just mute yourself if you see you're not muted. So what we want to do is take advantage of the fact that we're here at this moment in time. So congratulations. Thank you for being here. I read this beautiful analogy the other day about, it was from the Hopi elders, I believe, Hopi Native American tribe in New Mexico. And they had, these prophets, these visions, these visionaries, medicine men, sacred men, holy men. Shamans, all around the world we have these. And what are these? These are people who have simply learned that they are bigger than what they perceive or what they were told. They're not just their physical body, that there's all this vastness to you. And accepting that, and accepting that your powers are part of who you are. Your perceived faults and failures are part of who you are. And all of these have come together to giving you skills and strengths to break down your ego, to get rid of your attachments, to other people, to money, to opinions. So you can rise up to a whole new vibration and begin to embrace the real aspect of your soul, that more enlightened, higher vibration, higher consciousness, ascended part of you. Now we're on a constant ascension. I used to have a misconception around that. I used to think, oh, well, I ascend and then it's over. No, we're layers and layers and layers going through these experiences. So every piece of shit you brought with you, every challenge, every relationship, every betrayal, every form of grief, every sadness, every loss, every feeling of like, I'm not good enough, or that deep inner pain of humiliation or shame or guilt, everybody's experienced it. And it's being intensified right now by the intense energies that are happening. Because why? Because we can't take them with us. And if you are, there's two categories of people right now that I'm interacting with at my level. So we're interacting because we have one of these two things in common. You're either already aware of this bigger part of you. And I don't mean just conceptually, like you might have for a while been studying and you know that you have like a higher self, or, you know, that you have multiple energy bodies and you have chakras and, you know, you have all this other, you know, part of you. You have Akashic records, like everything you've ever done. And you've got your subconscious mind is an energetic field, right? That's carries with it these memories, these beliefs, these agreements that you've made. And they're the program that's running that. And, you know, so we maybe have certain perceptions around it, and wherever you are in your, I'm not sure if this is real or if I understand it or what's it like, or is it true in that path of yours, you going into a space where you begin to understand who you are at any level always up levels your ability to perceive that next part of you. So a lot of my clients after our recent retreat, so we did a retreat over the equinox down here in the Mayan Riviera, and we did 5 days doing very deep energy work. Cosmic shaman journeying. I would take people through journeys. We would connect with beings, light beings, divine, intelligent beings, guides. So if you're used to angels or maybe fairies or something like that, well, there's all levels of beings, right? So the spirit or essence of Jaguar and the ability to have that night vision, which means to see in the dark, see through the darkness when it's around you, when you feel like there's no hope. See through the darkness when somebody is hiding something, right? See through with depth. All the ways that embodied us. And we swam with dolphins and did healing work with them. And we went to the top of pyramids and did activations and, you know, at the dawn and the equinox. And what are we doing that for? We're doing that to constantly clearing our energy field, clearing our light body, clearing our emotional field. So I call it a body. It's one form of you, is where all those emotions are. You want to be emotionally empowered. So you ride the emotional scale up and down as you want to, or you let a feeling come up through you, but you don't stay attached to it. That's the purpose of emotions. It's like a power field. You want to clear it on a regular basis and become in communication with it, maybe see it, feel it, understand how to program it, understand how to navigate through it, to find the blocks, to find your soul purpose, to find the solution, to find the next client, to find what, right? The solution to what your heart is calling you to. So full moon time right now has very specific, powerful, awesome energies. So you're one of two categories. You're feeling and seeing and experiencing now. A lot of my clients who went through the retreat or that I'm working with personally are ones who've already signed up for the light body healing, because as soon as you make an agreement like that, like I'm going to become this, I'm going to take this course, or I'm going to learn this skill, or I'm going to, you know, live in that kind of a house, or I'm going to make this kind of income, or whatever choices you make. Once you make that choice, the shit starts to come up in your life. And we want to see it as something good, like, oh wow, look at all this crap that had to go for me to go live that life, right? So in this today's healing, in this space, you have no guilt. You do not bring any shame in here. Guilt and shame are the lowest vibrations. They're not allowed in this space. So as we're talking, you're just letting those go. You don't even have to talk to them. You just make that decision. No guilt or shame in this space, and it starts to go out. So you're either experiencing this sense of like, oh my God, I can see and feel how enormous I am, my purpose, my power, my divinity, my sense of like, oh, I don't have to be worried what other people think because this is what I'm supposed to do. why am I living like this? Why am I putting up with these kinds of relationships? Why am I charging these kind of rates? It's like you suddenly step into the being you're becoming, and you start to realize, oh my gosh, this is who I am. That's what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm capable of. So much more, right? That you've allowed yourself to think, because up to this point, or up to recently, for the last 5, 10, 20 years, right? For most of us, within that time, you're beginning to awaken to the fact that there's more to you, or there's more to your life, or you have a bigger purpose. Well, hell yeah. You're not here to pay your taxes. You're not here to follow what makes your mom comfortable, or what your brother thinks is acceptable, or whatever. You're not. And right now, more than ever, it is not an option anymore not to live your soul purpose. I've believed this for years. I've practiced it, and then it became innate for me. That's why I'm living in the Mayan Riviera, and think I'm going to Spain next. I'm not sure, but we're going to be down here till the end of the year. So we're doing another magical dolphin mystical retreat in the fall equinox here. And so I'm using the vibration and the energies here. And once you step into that and get a glimpse, whether it's in an experience we do like on these calls, whether it's in a healing or in a dream, or if it's just coming from within you as kind of a vision, this is what I want, continue to tap into that, because that's what's ready for you. And so you're either in the category where you're experiencing that and it's really weird, still being attached to or aware of who you've been. Maybe there's sadness. I was talking to a client today, right? And this like massive breakthrough in our first private session. And now all what's happened is energetically, spiritually, into that light structure, into the blueprint, into the DNA, we go to the core, and that's what like the light body work, and we're going to do some of that today. I'm going to do readings and healings with you guys, and you'll experience all the different kinds of things that I do and I teach. And what happened is that it changed it at the core. We found the core incidents, the karmic agreements, the sacred contracts, whatever you want to call it, the energetic knots, all of those things, and those got transformed. Now we come down to the next energy level, and we had to emotionally and mentally create new beliefs, and we had to create a new energetic emotional blueprint. This is how this is going to feel. I'm not going to go back to feeling that way. So coming down through the energies, and then it manifests in the physical. But what happens first? Just like what we said, if you declare, I'm going to be, a spiritual teacher, or I'm going to open my own business, or I'm going to whatever, I'm going to speak my message, whatever that is, I'm going to write my book, I'm going to step up and start to, find clients that I can help, and whatever it is that you've been holding back, you become aware you can no longer be there, but you don't really have an idea of what it's like. So if you're in that category, you're in the perfect place too, because when you're awakening, we don't know what it's like. That's why it's very hard to describe. I'm really fortunate. I've worked with people for about 25 years, spiritually and in business, and both, and going deep into energetic fields, changing mindset and beliefs. So we're working on all of these levels, but they're all just different levels of energy. They just have different vibrations. So the simplicity and the beauty of this full moon is you're going to take wherever you are now, like, oh, I just can't take my life anymore like this. I know I'm ready for something new, but I don't know what it is or how it feels. Or if you're over here going, wow, I'm having this experience, like my client was like, I've shifted all this, but now all this emotions coming up and memories, and like people from my family are calling me who haven't spoken to me in years, and I'm going into this experience, and I'm like, kind of don't know who I am right now, right? Well, that's the beauty of it. I just watched myself help someone, like if you've ever been in that space, when you let go and you decide to truly be who you are, you could just sit here and shit comes through you, right? It just comes out of you, and it's exactly right, and it's just what the person needs, and you're almost amazed. You're going, wow, that was cool, and they're just like, they have a breakthrough, an awareness, or a healing, or an aha, or whatever. It's perfect. When you have that experience, which you probably all have and we all want more of, that's living in the flow of the magic of your life. But in that moment, you realize that everything you need is right here. So in this space for the next 3 hours, everything you need is right here. And you're going to go from wherever you are, is partially experiencing and building that bridge between who you've been and fully embodying and creating all the mindsets, the habits, the beliefs, the thoughts. It takes a little bit of time in the physical sometimes to transition. When we do the energetic work, it happens instantly. Then the mental comes online, and then the physical world comes online. And sometimes it happens in an instant. Usually it's a couple of months if you're really dedicated to it. So having the opportunity to be here today is powerful. Let's look at the energies. Why? So Scorpio moon, again, I'm not an astrologist, but I go and I look this up. I talk to different people I trust, and then I tune in intuitively to what's happened, because what I realized is that if we flow with the energies, life is so much easier. So what's optimal right now to focus on? Well, you could focus on anything you want. You could say, well, I have relationship issues, and I have money issues, and I have self-esteem issues, and I want to work on all of them. You don't have to pick a topic. You want to pick what's in flow with the energy right now. So what's happening right now with this full moon is, for some reason, astrologically, this is a portal that is setting up the vibration for the rest of the year. That's like a New Year's kind of thing. That's a big energy. You want to take advantage of it today to say right now, declare right down in your journal, okay, I am open and receptive. I am ready and willing, okay? This is how we open our energy field. Your words have power. They're a vibration. They have a color, they have an essence, they have a power. And if you align with those words and you use them over and over, and you decide, you tell them, this is what it means. When I say, I am open and receptive, I am ready and willing, that opens my field. It aligns my protection within light. I am only the light. There is no darkness within me. I am fully embodied. My soul takes up all the spaces between the spaces and in and out and every level of who I am. So you fully embody yourself. And then you're open and receptive to that stream of energy coming straight down your pillar of light. So if you imagine there's a pillar of light around you, if you've done this with me before, this is one of the core elements of your light body that I'm teaching in the course, that you're going to have by the end of it. You're going to be able to take 3 breaths and activate all the elements of your light body, align them, clear them, because you're going to learn all the elements, and then you're going to be able to, not manipulate them. Yeah, you're going to be able to like program them and clear them and cleanse them, and power, access to your power, access to your guidance, access to your personal knowing, access to your spiritual blueprint, knowing what you're meant to do next. This is what we all want, right? That certainty, that knowing. So these energies now in this full moon are about personal power. So think about, how are you going to allow, this is not an effort, allow your personal power to come up from those places where you've locked it away, you've told it to be quiet, right? Whatever, any image you see as we're going through the next 3 hours, the energies are already working. There's a beautiful crystalline sphere space around us. We have a galactic core of light beings here, and many other levels that have come to assist in this healing. We have the divine light of the full moon, that abundance energy everywhere. And if you are here, you are in this space, you are protected by that. And now I just want you to affirm that you're fully embodying you. So you don't invite anybody else to come take space in your field, your mother in your head, your children wherever they are, what are your dogs doing over there, or any energies that are just floating around looking for an opportunity to be here to play, right? This is your space. So just imagine coming straight down that pillar of light, this stream of light and energy. And it's trickling in, and it's opening and activating you to, in this moment, have a direct connection to your true soul level personal power. You can close your eyes and feel it. You can keep your eyes open if you want. You can write about how it's experiencing it, but I want you to just focus on that trickle. What does it look like? What color is it? Does it look like light, or does it look like liquid? Can you feel it? Is it entering your crown, or is it trickling in through your third eye, or is it coming in through your heart? Or do you just feel it all around you, and it's just caressing your skin and infusing into your whole body? So when you begin to increase your visualization skills, you are never ever done increasing. It's a core skill as a creator of worlds, as a creator of your reality, in charge of unfolding and finding the path to living the life your soul intended. It is one of your jobs to increase your skills. So this gift is now filling you up, and you literally feel like little locks are being opened in every cell, in different parts of your body, in your blood cells, in your heart, in your lungs. These little locks are opening up. And then they're being washed away with this beautiful trickle, this liquid light energy that's specifically designed today to harness this power of water, this power of emotion. And as it fills you, it cleanses and purifies you, and it washes away these locks that you've had on your personal power. So as we move into this beautiful space of healing and remembering and releasing, renewing, rejuvenating, and reclaiming, we come in free and clear of blocks to us owning our full power. So I want you to affirm in your heart, I'm open and receptive to feeling, seeing, and living in my own potent personal power. The vibrations right now in the moon are potent, powerful, and transformational. So it might be in Scorpio, but it has a very serpent energy to it. It has that shedding of the old skin and rising up of the Kundalini, rising up of that core energy. That as you release the locks that you've put on your personal power, your voice, your willingness to believe or speak up or take action, to detach from the outcome or what people think and keep moving into your purpose, anything that has kept you from that, it has not been wrong, it has not been bad, it has been here now so you can complete that pattern. So today, all through the next few hours together, the energies of love and light will be moving through all of you, all of us, the planet, and all other life forms here and in all other dimensions that are ready, willing, open, and receptive to receive this blessing. And each and every person has the opportunity to choose how much they will accept and receive the energy. So you have control over the volume. You have control. So set that volume right now. Set that so you can relax and be fully present. Really affirm and tell yourself, I'm fully, fully present here. The healing energies today are going to be amazing. The full moon is blessing us. It's gone over 2 days. Around the world, it's been the full moon for, already a whole 24 hours. And it's fascinating that together we have this small world and we could, email or text somebody on the other side of the planet. And yet we can also just all tune into the same wave of energy as it's moving. And it's moving and opening a portal. And so what do you want to do to walk into that portal? To walk into that portal of the next part of this year, essentially the second half of this year. The first half of this year has been clearing and cleansing away the old patterns that died last year. There was a lot of struggle and a lot of rebirth and a lot of deconstruction and heaviness, and it kept moving a little bit into this year, and to different degrees you may have been coming out of that or feel like you are. So right now in this space, with having unlocked your personal power, let it flow up into your mind, into your eye, into your vision, and say, what am I going to walk through this portal as? And as you're deciding, as the ideas and images are coming through, see yourself at New Year's Eve at the end of this year. At the end of this year, on New Year's Eve, you are going to be toasting a glass of juice, a glass of champagne, whatever it is, by yourself or with others. And in that moment, you're going to look back to this moment And you're going to say, wow, look who I am. Who are you? So just let yourself rest for a minute inside of that you, that future you on New Year's Eve. That's over 6 months from now. There's choices you're going to make. There are decisions you're going to make. There's challenges that are going to come up. There's things you're going to have to let go of. There's ideas about yourself and what you want and how it's going to unfold that are going to have to change over the next 6 months in order for you to be that person. Now there's many, many future yous. There's many, many future selves. All possibilities are available to you. You are abundant, but you want to pick the one, right? You want to pick the one that's the vision closest to what you know you desire, plus releasing it to this or something better. Because hey, those higher parts of you, they know better. So right now, take a moment so that all during the rest of this call, you will be able to tune into that, your energies, your higher self, your mind, all of your guides, your body, everything is listening right now very carefully to you. So I would recommend, if you don't have your eyes closed by now, that you close your eyes and you really feel into this. That stream of energy is still pouring through you. You've just released the locks on every level, every part of your body, every part of your energy field, every chakra, your throat, your voice, right? Your will, your power in your belly, that power in your sexual, your sacred chakra, like that power in your root to be physically secure, wealthy, or full of abundance, or open to abundance, or willing to accept it, or willing to keep it. Okay? And feeling that energy, it's moving through you. It has freed your personal power. Your mind is now free to see your true dreams. So without you projecting too much into it, unless you need to get it started, invite now that you from New Year's Eve that would be optimal for you. How do you feel? What has happened for you financially, physically, emotionally, in love and relationships, and finances, and where you live, in any part of your life? Just see that you now appearing. Move over. Feel that you. Watch that you for a moment. And now take a moment and step into that you on New Year's Eve. So just imagine you're putting on clothes or something. Just step right into that body there that you're seeing. And it's New Year's Eve. It's going to be 2018 in a few hours. And you're thinking about everything that's happened. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your sense of freedom, your sense of connection to your happiness, to your purpose, to your joy? How does that happiness feel? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel excited, anticipating? Feel the energy of it. Does it have a color? Does it move in a particular pattern through you? Does it move around your belly in little bubbles, or does it move up and down your legs, or does it wash over you in waves? And just take a look at that. Take a look at your life there. How do you feel about your finances? How do you feel about your energy, your focus, your clarity, your sense of purpose? How do you feel about your work in the world? What percentage better do you feel about yourself, your relationships? So now that you've really grounded that feeling in, give it a name. What does it feel like? Does it feel light? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel free? Does it feel, what does it feel? And just step now out of that you, that future you. So sort of just like, like you're taking off a wetsuit, stand up. And now look at you then and ask that you. Say, I want to maintain a connection with you. I want your wisdom. I want your knowing. I want the confidence you have because you've gotten from there to here. I want your wisdom and knowledge of what's the best way to get here, what choices to make. I want your reassurance in the times when things look like they're not going right. And I'm ready for your one best advice for me. So you may be receiving that right now. Just stay in that open and receptive mode. So now pay attention. How are you receiving this information? Are you feeling something? Are you seeing colors? Are you getting images or pictures that appear? Are memories coming up? Do you have a feeling in a particular part of your body? Are you seeing a little video of visions? Do you just have a knowing? Are you thinking of someone? So on the full moon of abundance, we're ready and willing and open and receptive. We are open and receptive. We are open and receptive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To receiving information, opening, awakening, and activating whatever senses are ready to have a clear connection for me. Perfect. So this is now open and happening. It's programmed and will consistently stream continuing through. So let's all create an enormous bubble of gratitude. Just send the most intense and beautiful gratitude you can out of you through your heart into the center of this group. Just imagine us all around the world, the group of us, and we're all sending that energy into the center, creating a beautiful sphere of golden light. And it's just imbued with gratitude. So keep sending it, sending it, sending it, sending it. And in a moment, we're all going to hold our intention, our breath, and our energy to explode it out. All right. So this is using our ability to create with energy through our thoughts and intentions. This is how you heal. This is how you manifest. This is how you create. So continue to choose that energy that's going there right now. We're creating a gratitude bomb. And we're filling it up with the most divine gratitude. and it's expanding and expanding now. And now we're just going to go ahead and throw our intention into the center of it, and we're going to blow our breath out. And with that, we're all going to see and feel it just exploding out and pulsing in waves into a million pieces out through everything, the earth, the planet, the trees, the animals, you, and then out past this universe to all the others. So let's say thank you, thank you, thank you. Deep breath in, and now. Now just sit very calm and feel your energy field. Notice where you feel things moving, shifting, colors, tingles. Ooh, beautiful. So we've now co-created this space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've created a beautiful healing that's now going to be streaming. So as light beings, as energy beings, awakening to our full potentials and our power and our ability to work with and use elements and the infinite potential energies of source energy. Everything's made from the same energy. So we can, like magicians or sorcerers, or like spiritual healers, or whatever, right? We can begin to acknowledge and work with all of our energy field, and we can begin to then work with it to create energy, to direct energy, to draw energy, right? And to restructure and recreate what's our reality. So what is our life? What's the house we're living in? What's the money we're making? What's the kind of love relationship we have? But also healing, right? Helping to heal others mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever you do. If you work with people and help them with their finances, right? You're helping them heal their finances, or take energetically shift that vibration. So healing is a change in vibration. So we always go to the energy to see the truth of it. And now what we've done is we've drawn in and we've asked the energies and the elements of these qualities to be a part of this sphere, this bubble that we've chosen to be in together for the next few hours. And it's now programmed to be doing this work. It's streaming that energy of continuously unlocking our personal power so it can be potent in our lives. The next energy of the full moon that we're really going to be working with is that this energy has the potential, this particular Scorpio full moon energy. So we've opened the portal to what's going to come next. We've tuned into ourselves in the ideal self that we want to be by the end of this year. At the end of the call, we're going to go forward from that to a year from now. And I'm going to channel some messages from that future self for you, so you can see how what you set up to get to the end of the year, and then what happens after that, and take those two pieces together as part of your guidance. Now you have this connection to your future self. That's a part of what's in here too. Okay, we've also streamed in these different energies to help us open and release. That means let go of beliefs, let go of fears, let go of memories, let go of attachments to people that they don't approve, or that they should say they're sorry, or they betrayed you, or whatever, right? These are all things we experience, and they're very, very painful. But getting past that is stepping into that bigger new you that's ready, because attachments to those things, they're just emotional stories, right? And it doesn't belittle the pain you've been through or the suffering you've had at all. But you want to acknowledge that you've been through that for a reason, and it's giving you these talents and skills. So now we've got this energy streaming in for that. And now we're going to open and receive and accept that this opportunity, apparently Scorpio, it helps you raise your consciousness, but to really high levels. So this is like divine potential, divine consciousness type levels. So throughout the rest of today, this call and the rest of the full moon energies, you may feel yourself even drifting up to really high levels of consciousness, and then maybe coming back down to somewhere that's higher than where you've been living. But you may be peaking, you may be traveling, you may be getting glimpses into other levels of vibration. So the reason we raise our vibration is why? Because things are easier, they're more clear, we're more aligned with our purpose, we're not attached to emotions or what people think. And in that place, we can be aligned with our purpose and do what we're meant to do. So we've got all of those energies going on. Now, I know there's something else I wanted to talk about with that. Okay, future self. So we've integrated all of those things that really is going to access the energies now. So one of the things that's important to remember about the energies right now is that this is, let me think if I can remember. I loved the way that it was, that I saw it. This is, this isn't what it said, but this is how I'm interpreting it. This is beyond accepting yourself, right? That I have to accept myself. I have to love myself. It's like just dropping that facade and just letting it come out from within you, conjuring it up from within you, not chasing it, not attaining it, but with this full moon spotlight on you now and the unlocking of your personal power, you now have the strength, whether you know it or not, to really accept shining your full bright self. Several clients I've spoken to this week are talking about, now that I've embodied my full self, it's like upsetting some people, and friends I've had for a while are not clear on like who I am, and we're not vibrating it together, and like that's fine, because if you stay vibrating with the same people forever, then your vibration hasn't shifted. So you have to keep owning your purpose. You have to keep owning your power. And then you become aware of how to use your powers. So that's the other thing that's going to come up. Your personal power is coming up, but we want that higher level of consciousness to come in and fuse. So we now accept, we're open and receptive and ready and willing to accept the highest level of divine consciousness, that vibration to come in, to recalibrate, and to exist here within me now at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the words we're speaking have a particular vibration. We're saying them like a spell, like a program. We're weaving the energies. We're telling them where to go. We're telling them what we want, so that the energies now come together in the proper configuration and create a space where we're easily able to access and love ourselves, own our power, and our high level of consciousness. And that's where you don't have to worry about having a lot of power, because if you're using your power with high consciousness, then it's aligned with what's in the highest good. And then the third piece is that we are connecting with that future self, and we're allowing ourselves, see, that's part of learning light body work, right? Everything you've been and you will be has already happened, and it's already in your field. So you can go and find it. Like when you begin to breathe into your energy fields and clear your energy fields and draw in and ask for different energies to come in, to clear blocks or give you clarity, and then the ideas come in. Like one of my clients told me today, we did a really deep session, and then that night at yoga class, he had this spontaneous forgiveness, like explosion that came through. He was able to forgive people in his family, decades, lifetimes, never has. And then this morning, somebody from his family called him up and offered to pay for things and take him places or what all, I didn't know, but it was like almost shocking. Like he's like watching his life, like, what the hell? That's what happens when we go to the energy level, right? Instead of staying mixed up in the story, why is this happening to me? Why is that person mean to me? Why couldn't it have been different? Why is it always me that loses everything? Whatever it is, right? Remember, this isn't about belittling the pain that you've had from that story. It's about, let's go underneath the story. So underneath feeling like the victim, or feeling helpless or powerless, or feeling obligated or responsible, right, to other people or to certain ways of being. So you might be afraid to come out and say, I'm a psychic, and go move to Tahiti, because your family will think you're crazy. Well, if that's honestly what you feel like you're meant to do, then you have to do it, right? And so what you have to do to free yourself from what will my family think, how will I make it work, what if I lose friends or credibility or whatever, like whatever your attachments, right? Do you see what I mean by attachments? So today you're in a space of dissolving those attachments, and attachments are what keep us stuck, right? Keep us holding onto the side of the river while it's being blah, 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 blah. So this beautiful, beautiful phrase that these Hopi elders I started telling you about, it said, the river, there is a river, a current, I think. There's a current that's running very strong now. So we can all agree that the energies have increased and they've gotten stronger, and things are changing faster or falling apart faster and manifesting faster. And we wanted to be here for this, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy or that you feel safe or you know the answers, right? And he said there's a stream going stronger now, and many will struggle and hold on to the shores of the river, and they will feel as if they're being torn apart, and they will suffer greatly. So if you feel like you're one of those people, or that you've had experiences in the recent past, 10 years or whatever, where you felt like you were torn apart, where your life was torn apart, where your idea of who you were was torn apart, where your finances were torn apart, where your relationships were torn apart, maybe your health, maybe you had cancer or something. So this is what's happening now. And the advice from the Hopi elders was, you must push off from the shore out into the center of the river and get into the current. Keep your head above water and your eyes open. And then look around and see who else is in the river with you. And celebrate. And celebrate. Okay? So I invite you today, as we move through this, to let go of the shore. Look for where you're still attached emotionally or mentally, physically, right, to what anyone else thinks, what you think you're supposed to do, who you feel obligated to, and reassess the truth of who you are. How can you create a clear and open channel to your highest self and follow that guidance above all else? Accept the challenges that come with it, to cross over the river, to get into the stream, to let go of the way it was, to flow effortlessly into who you are and where you are going. Oh, beautiful. I love that. All right, let me look at what we've got next and we'll take a peek. Okay, perfect. So we're coming up on the first hour. I want to say thank you to everyone that came through. There were several different energies, I think, that came through in that message. But now we have an idea. We've set the space. We've got the energies moving, and we've got the intention set. So we're aligned with the full moon powers. Let me just see if there's anything else. No, that's good. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a short break in a few minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start doing some live healings. So the second hour is going to be all healings. Then we'll take a break, and the third hour is going to be all channeled future messages for your future self. Okay, so I'm going to take the list of people for the healing, and I'll go in order if you're here. And for the future self, I'm being told that I'll just take a look at the names, and it's going to be intuitive. Whoever pops forward, I'll do that. If perhaps I get some guidance during that healing for a particular person to go next, I will do that. This is a month of healing, so if I don't get to you personally today, all of these energies are happening for all of us. You can come back and listen to the replay and redo that process. You can tune back into it. There's no time and space. That's the way I create and structure these kinds of energy structures. And now you can be in this space. You can remind yourself, right? Remember, you really anchored in. How did it feel? I want you, during the break, to take a minute to write down what the experience was like with your future self on New Year's Eve. What did it feel like? What did you look like? What were the goals? What was anything that you received? Remember that the answer didn't come completely. You may have gotten a big download, but there's going to be more. You may have not gotten much, and there's still more, right? It's coming, and it's going to unfold for you. You receive information and energy the way that you are. So remember, one of the things we activated is that throughout this call, you're going to be opening to activating more of your senses to receive information in more ways than you have been. Your job is just to trust. So we've got, if I don't get to you, I can get to you on the next call. We've got a call next week. I think it's around manifesting and money and things like that. We've got one on the 31st. And I also want to invite you to join me for my Light Body Healing class. So you can do that if you want to do it for yourself. You just take the course, which everybody goes through. It's 10 weeks this summer, starts in the middle of June. And if you go to nanakasha.com/LB Heal, Light Body Heal, LB Heal, you can read all about it. We're having a special for May. There's a 4-month payment plan if you need that. And there's a bonus of my Awaken Your Light Body course, which is like $400 or $500 course that I created last year, that as soon as you sign up, you get that and you can start working with that. And that begins to teach you a lot of elements of sacred geometry, of activating these different parts of your body, rejuvenate, renew, reintegrate your soul, all kinds of levels of things. And we're going to go through this for 10 different sessions over 12 weeks this summer. Everything's recorded for your permanent collection. And it's for people who want to become healers. Then there's a certification level. So there's 2 levels of that, and you get a lot more interaction with me and how to work with clients and all of that kind of stuff if you want to do the certification. But go check it out, nanakasha.com. Donna, if you can put that in the chat box, /LB Heal. And I'll share a little bit more about that. But a lot of what we're doing is some of that work. So I do a lot of different techniques. I've brought in a lot of different working with Native American shamans and taking groups of people to sacred places like Egypt and now here in the Mayan Riviera to the pyramids and things here, to learning healing, light body work, quantum physics. I'm a hypnotherapist and on and on. So after about between 25 and 30 years of doing this kind of work, it all sort of blends inside of me. But one of the reasons that the Healing Arts, Mystic Healing Arts Academy is a school that I've been told to start for many years, I was going to start, is finally launching. And there's going to be, it's like Hogwarts for adults, sort of. There's going to be many different classes that unfold. You can take one, you can take a lot. But it's going to be about stepping into being that fully embodied light citizen of the world, and way beyond your 5 senses, way beyond your mundane, ordinary life, right? You've got your life, you've got your car, you got your stuff, great, that's one level of your life. But hey, you're multidimensional, you have so many more layers to you, you have so much more power, and your purpose is so much more than you are now. So this begins the journey of owning yourself, learning how to work with yourself. It's like learning, it's like a manual for you, how to manifest. How do I change my thoughts? How do I let go of the past? How do I find the solutions? How do I go after what I want? How do I know what I want? And then how do you heal physically, emotionally, mentally with it? So I hope you'll join me with that. If you have any questions, what I'd really love is if you came and had a conversation with me. Because then I can do a little reading on you. I can see where you are and might say, hey, you're perfect for it, maybe not. The other thing too is blissliferetreats.com. If Donna, if you can put that in the chat window too. We're going to do another Mayan Riviera, Mayan magic. We're going to be going to the pyramids. We're going to be going to the sacred waters, under ground waters, and doing the toning and the other work, which was just epic, as one person said this last time. We're going to be having shaman ceremonies on sacred sites. We're going to be going to the tops of pyramids and doing as much exclusive things as we did before. I go through and find the opportunity for us to be in these sacred places alone. And then we do deep, deep work, energy work, guided work. Then you have time to do your own work. And you have time to then walk around and enjoy the scenery or do different things that you feel drawn to do yourself. So the retreats are incredibly powerful, and we then spend one full day with the dolphins, getting to do things that normal people, normal tourists do not. So we get to actually do floating healing work with them. We get to play with them. We get to communicate with them. And it's intensely powerful to do this deep work at the sacred sites, then come back and do something like with the dolphins. And so if you're interested in that, it's at blissliferetreats.com. And again, get on the phone, talk to me about it. It's going to be amazing. It's fall equinox, the 20th to the 24th. So in the meantime, let's take a 5-minute break. Let me just check and see. So that would be at 4:06 my time. So basically in 5 minutes, we will be back and we will start the live healings. So if you put your name in and I call and you're not here, then I'll move to the next person. So come back in 5 minutes. Bye. Okay, coming back. What we've got is, mute yourself there, Donna, if you can catch that, thanks. And so we've got those streams of energy, those healings and openings happening, and we've gone and connected with our future self for New Year's Eve at the end of the year. And so now we have that connection. What that means is that you can literally ask, how did you handle this? What do I do here? At first, you maybe think this is stupid, or I don't hear anything, or I never get answers, or whatever that story is. Keep asking, right? Keep putting yourself back into New Year's Eve. How did that feel? How am I feeling right now? How does this compare to how I was feeling right now? Then, okay, I'm on the scale of consciousness, or on a vibrational scale. I'm feeling kind of around anger and pity and guilt. That's not matching how I felt over there. Okay, so how can I just start to reach and shift, go to the energy? All right, so we want to give thanks and open this field again. So what happens now is I'm going to do some healings. I'm going to go see, is Adriana here? So if you're here, I'm going to just start to get myself ready and open. So if you're here when I call your name, unmute yourself and just say, hi, I'm here. Okay. So just getting my antenna. So one of the things is that your hair is your intuition to a degree, right? And it's energetically, it keeps going. It's out. So I like to rub my scalp. So if we're always talking about energy, raising our energy, opening our energy channels, what I, do is teach and intend all the time to be that clear and open channel. Once I've set my entire space, right? Once I know that I'm fully embodied and I've activated my Merkaba, my Omkaba, my light body, my pillar of light, my chakras and all of that. And then I'm embodying a channel, so to speak, opening to a particular channel, a frequency, a station on TV or a phone number. I'm tuned into that. That's optimal, right? And so anything you do energetically, I've got incense or candles or moving the energy with your thoughts. And so all we want to do now is have all of you just help co-create the healing space that we have here. So just relax, be open and receptive. As the healing energy goes through me, I receive it as well as the person that it's for. you receive it because you're here as well. So you take in what you need and what's been beneficial to you, and you don't need to know what it is. So you just hold that intention now. You're now telling, commanding, asking, programming your field, your mind, your emotions, all those parts of you. You're saying, listen, as this information comes through, just let it wash through me and take those things that are for my highest good and let everything else just wash through. That's now my permanent program. So that way, when you're around energies that are beneficial or not, they're stressful or chaotic or healing, moves through you. If there's something there for you, you take it on. Otherwise, it's not there. All right, great. So, okay. So it doesn't sound like Adriana's here. Sherry, are you here? Sherry with a C-H-E-R-I?
Are you saying Ariana or Oriana?
No, Adriana, A-D-R-I-A-N-A. Adriana. That was from the last call. Maybe she's not on this call. Okay, cherry, kind of like a cherry. Kasha Glazebrook. Okay, Paul, I just had a session with Paul, private session with Paul, so I'm going to skip you for right now, sweetie, if you are here. Helena, I think it is, Rostovic. I know these are people who emailed in back when we first said we were doing the month, so. Okay, Karen, Soma Karen. Julie Ling. Okay, KJ Walgren.
Hello?
Oh, who's that? Soma Karen?
Yeah, this is Karen.
Oh, Karen, okay. It says Soma Karen. I thought probably your name is
Karen.
Karen.
Is my email address, but my name is
Okay.
Karen.
That's kind of what I figured. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so hello. Let me go back here so I can see out of my window. There we go. Okay, let's see. I changed the way this works. Let me see if I can change video. I'm trying to see you.
Let me see. Can you see me now?
Can you hear me?
Sort of.
Oh, I can hear you. I'm trying to see where I changed my setting because all I see is me. You know, there's like a screen setting here.
This is Sherry.
Oh, hi.
Hi. This is so strange. I haven't done one of these live audio things, so thanks for taking me.
Okay, so, oh, wait a minute. There, I think I see somebody. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, Donna, that's right. You're there. You take control. You're the co-host. So make it so that whoever's talking, speaker spotlight or whatever that setting is. Okay, so let's see. Who did we have there? We had Sherry, and then who came first?
Karen.
Okay. Okay, good. So Karen. So we're going to go ahead with Karen because we started with her, and then Sherry, you're going to be next, okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So just go ahead and mute yourself, and then everybody else just keep yourself on mute. And like I said, just, you know, it's really great to just be in a kind of a receptive mode for everybody. Okay, so Karen, you may have to unmute yourself again.
Oh, let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is Karen, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Hello. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
So, tell me, is there anything you want to tell me?
Well, yes, I'll tell you what I'm working on. I was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and I'm working on healing that. I've done some work in the past with energy healing, and I'm just doing a lot of research, and I'm trying to figure out where my next step on my path. I believe in energy healing. I believe you can heal without interference with medicine and other things, but I blend them. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a purpose for me getting cancer again. And I think it's something that I'll be doing perhaps in the future. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's, you know, everything that happens, especially major things like that, are always part of our soul path.
Yes.
There's always, always, always a reason. And so that's part of our journey, is to rise up out of the story, to see the bigger picture. And it's often very, very difficult to see that picture till after you're
Yeah.
out of it, that time thing. But that's part of building our skill, right? Is to project into the future that we want, that we're moving towards, and do our best in each moment, because it's not hope, it's bigger than hope, right? It's like when you've seen that, it's like, okay, in those moments when you're like, this is horrible, I'm at the dark night of the soul, right? You can say, this wouldn't be happening just for the hell of it, right? Oh, okay. You know, because over the many years and ups and downs of my own life, and then doing work with people on deep levels and seeing deep pain, deep grief, deep loss, you know, my daughter died, I lost millions of dollars and everything I owned, and divorce, you know, like all these ups and downs, cancer, different things, everything that we go through, it's painful. It's a deconstruction, right?
Yes.
And you're very aware in the middle of this, and
Yes.
yet you've got to honor that part of you that's still having to go through it.
Yes.
Right? And so that's the path where I was talking about earlier, that you are aware of who you are and who you've been, in that very human part, and the concrete thoughts and things you had, until you sort of came more into the energy and the spirit, starting to see the other dimensions of who you were and who you're becoming.
Right.
So you're like, I do energy work and I believe in it, and it's definitely incorporated, but you're half and half, which is perfect. It's exactly what you're meant to do if that's where you are, which is half and half, which is exactly where you are. So it's cool because you're in that cocoon, that metamorphosis of melting down from who you've been, which we all go through, right? And melting down like the caterpillar melts down into, liquid, and then comes out completely different. So you're in the process of that. Being right in that place where you can be a part of both worlds, you can trust and have the opportunity to really take action to integrate them. The biggest thing for you right now is looking at the energy underneath the choices you make. So if you choose to not do this traditional technique, doctor thing, and you choose to do this, alternative thing, as you're doing them, you may be pushing the boundaries of your trust, but you feel like, no, I'm meant to do that, so I'm going to do it. Now, once you've made the choice, the biggest key to your healing, not just like, to live, but your healing, which is the real thing you're going through here, right, is up-leveling, letting go of the thoughts, the beliefs, the persona, the structure, even the personality structure of who you were, that was the creation of this, right? So it's just an energy in your body, right, that you created through certain, and it's always coming up to go away. It's always coming up to clear. So it's that part of you that on a daily basis, even when you don't feel like it, says thank you, thank you, thank you, because we never defeat an illness, right? We never hate it into, remission, right? We let go and accept and love and integrate, and then it can flow through us. Then we have no more attachment to it. So, you're in you've chosen a fast growth path, right? And I heard you say again. So it's interesting because that's a wisdom play. This is your soul giving you access to you as the wise woman. You are going to be your best guide through this. The wise woman you became when you went through it the first time, that of course is who you are, but the higher level of that. So that's who I would start talking to. That is your medicine woman. That is your blueprint, your imprint, that's going to come in and give you the new, soul, you have a frequency. That's your signature kind of frequency. That's the optimal vibrational frequency for you. So not everybody's bodies is supposed to function perfectly. I have a friend who's in a wheelchair who has the tiniest little legs that I don't know if they've ever worked, and his hands barely work. And he is the most delightful, happy, loved, successful person. That body is perfect for him, for his soul right now. So he's not wishing that was different. He's learning around how that is, right? So you are really, there's a lot of nursing, caregiver, healer levels to you.
Yes.
Do you do healing work with other people, or is this all for you?
I do, not as a job or work or anything, just volunteer sometimes, and for me. And I've been, shall we say, dabbling with it for a
Yeah.
while.
Well,
You know,
well, this is who you are. You are a magnificent healer. Like I'm seeing, like there's you, and then a little bit bigger you and bigger you. You know, sort of like, and each level of each of those are very skilled, very wise women from many different cultures that in one way or the other is the healer.
yes.
But the healer, the mother healer, the caretaking type of healer, not that you have to go be a caretaker and then bleed all your energy to everybody else. Okay, please don't do
No,
that.
I've done that.
I know that's a pattern that you're going to leave behind here, because when we leave behind those patterns, which is the part of the structure that causes this out of alignment that's in your body. That's all it is. Just part of your body got out of alignment. The energy wasn't flowing the right way. So we want to just put it back in alignment and let the energy flow to and through you, those parts that have chosen to sort of alter for their survival. And we want to love them back into the fold, back into love, right? Back into all of that. And you really have a powerful team here. And this is the first time I've ever seen the entire team be every level of you. Wow. So it's quite amazing. And it's like all different levels of medicine women, healers, mothers, just profound, all the way up to like chiefess, right? Teaching, that. And this is all right now for you. So your healing is going to be all about embodying that, embodying those layers of who you are. Who you become, what you decide to do with it, doesn't matter right now. That's not what you're here to figure out. Okay. You've really got to let go of the attachments. Your heart is going out in many, many directions. It's, got the tunnels of energy that are feeding a lot of other things, right? A lot of other people, a lot of situations in the past. And there are things that you're aware that you don't want to be attached to anymore. You don't want to have an emotional trigger to or anything. Yeah. But we all get to that point where we're aware it's supposed to happen, but we're sometimes not able to make it happen. We're still in the energy of it. So being creative, being fun, being childlike, I'm being shown like coloring, like a little kid, just give them some crayons and they sit down and just draw whatever. Unraveling those attachments. So the key to really working in, if everybody else can mute themselves. I don't know whose noise that is. So what we do is we're working with our mind, right? So most people by now have done some work around trying to change your mindset or find your beliefs that are negative or the beliefs you have that are based on your parents. And we have a pretty good grasp now that, those things really do affect us. But that's just one part of your entire being, right? So your conversation with that part of you, though, is clear communication with these other parts of you. Clear that now is the time to be 100% focused right here where you are. Clear that these attachments that you're spending so much of your heart energy going to is time for them to dissolve. Now, cord cutting energy, kind of cord cutting concepts are nice, but there's a dissolving. I want you to see it instead like a dissolving. It's more of an honoring, right? It's an honoring this has been a great journey. Thank you. And it's time for us to part ways. And it's just this like letting go of a handshake,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Just gonna check and see if I can tell who's making the noise. Can't tell. So this is the bottom line, really. You have to call back your energy. You have to reclaim it. You have to make it essential that the energy first goes to feed you. And this feels selfish, and there's all kinds of other, thoughts or patterns that'll come up. Great. That's just what the opportunity is to say no, because everybody has to claim who they are now. And so if it's cancer or divorce or financial loss or whatever, there's deconstructions happening constantly because there's completions happening, and it's like, okay, next, right? So you need all of your energy now, so the more conscious and easily you reclaim it. So what I do is you want to use your visual, you want to use all your senses, right? So if you draw, you doodle, you can do little spirals and imagine unraveling the energy or see what just comes through. You could tone or chant. This accelerates energies, and there's different chants that have different vibrational fields, healing fields. Deva Pramal, and if you remind me later, I can make sure we send you like her name and link. But Deva Pramal is very, very famous. If you look her up, you'll find her everywhere. She chants. She has the most gorgeous voice. It's just all kinds of one. There's an entire album called Healing Chants. And if listening to them or chanting them is putting a vibration into your body that is reminding your body of the right functional vibration. So it's helping it go, oh, this isn't how I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be this way, right? Going back into alignment. You want to use your visual skills, right? So keep thinking about that. I'm up leveling by remembering my skills and reconnecting to all these parts of me that are already master healers, okay? Mastered in nurturing and loving. So give yourself over as if one of them was your mother and you were a little girl, and then you just say, okay, Mom, I'll just stay in bed. I won't think today. There's so many completions. Recently I had a fall and I cut my lip open and went to the ER and broke ribs and all this stuff happened. And the next morning I was walking around like I was fine. And it was a few hours before all the other symptoms hit. And several of my friends text me that are very, very in tune with the spiritual world. And they were like, get in bed right now. This is part of an upgrade that's happening. You need to be in the dark, not move, not think, not read, nothing. And that's not an easy thing for me to do. But because I was getting that feeling myself, I knew there was something deeper going on with the entire experience. I went in there, and within a few hours, I was in the throes of, all kinds of horrible symptoms that were coming up because of concussion and everything else. But I was also in this peaceful gratitude through it. So it's weird to be in a space where you're in pain and your body's thrown up and you can't control, it just feels like you can't open your eyes and yet be internally like, thank you. And it sounds really weird, but that's literally one of the reasons why I healed so fast, that I didn't hold on to anything. I didn't make it mean anything. And I was completely in trust. I did what I knew what to do on my end with different remedies or whatever. But then I just allowed that. So you giving over control and trusting all these other parts of you that are going to come through, just open up and just give them permission, right? To work on you, to nurture you, to heal you, to direct you to different resources, to unplug from everybody. So energetically, that's where most of your energy goes out, is from your heart. And therefore, there's not enough life force energy in there to keep your dreams alive. And so that's part of the reason for the lack of flow of really high vibration, love energy, feeling really connected to your purpose, really able to make your life happen the way that you want. That hasn't been a possibility for you. It hasn't been a reality to you. And the things that you've tried haven't felt like they've worked. And so there's a battle inside of you going on about, should I care? Should I stay? Should I not? Conscious, unconscious, there's the energies. And then the whole part of you that wants to come through this amazing legacy of healers. You're like a eighth generation cosmic healer. That energy wants to come on the planet. That's a purpose bigger than you. That's something that you can bring through. You don't have to know how or what you're going to do. I was talking to a client the other day that I do deep private sessions with, and there was a conversation around, well, I'm a healer and it looks like this for a lot of healers and so on. And I'm like, why does it have to be the way it is for anyone else? It doesn't, the way you show up, the way you work with people, how people come to you, how aligned you are, what you do with it. You don't have to know that. You just have to keep connected to that part of yourself that keeps, okay, what do I do now? Almost, right? And then it's being in action. So there's a beautiful embracing and a beautiful unfolding in your inner eye, in the center of your brain, in your pineal and pituitary. There's, it's almost like it's stretching to open. Sort of like waking up from a long sleep.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, so what I want you to do is notice when you feel the energy coming from your heart and a little bit from your solar plexus, any energy in there. If you tune in, you're going to be able to feel or see that you're sending out all these little tubes of energy to, different people or situations in the past or fears of the future, whatever. All right. So whether you see them or you don't, several times a day, take a moment and just hold that intention, right? Activate your sphere of light, whatever you do, like put yourself in that space, and then just say, I dissolve, right? These attachments, and you just see them, okay? They're just going to dissolve and it's going to come back, and then just feel your whole heart, your whole energy field, not having any leaks, right? And not have any hooks in it, not have any attachments to anything, and then just relax and let yourself feel lighter. Tell yourself, oh, I'm feeling so much lighter. Sort of like being the balloon that's tied down and now you've been, those have been disconnected. I'm very, 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 very excited about the integration with the healer that you are. That's the key here. That's the opportunity here. The biggest picture opportunity. There's other things that are completing. There's some relationships that are going to complete over this. There's going to be, different situations you're just going to stop wanting to be in, or just not like that. I'm not playing that game anymore. And you find different places or people to be with. But the biggest thing here is you connecting to this bigger part of you, because it has a global feeling to it. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm going to be a healer, which you might, how it unfolds is going to be completely how you process this, like be a healer locally. It's more like being this voice for sort of a combination of this very earthy, strong, presence, and this, no, we're not taking that anymore. A little bit of like rebellion or holding your space, mixed with all this nurturing mother love energy, mixed with this ability to, tune into nature, to see, that healed, see you healed, see you glowing, see you flowing with energy, and letting that become the skills that you use for yourself, and then in whatever way that's going to go out into the world. Yeah, okay, that's it. So I'm just going to see what we're going to put something around. Oh, interesting. Okay. It's for 24 hours, 24 to 20. Okay. So we've just created an energy sphere, like a bubble, that's programmed to help you process this. And it's interesting because it's a perfect balance between two colors, like a yin and a yang. So it's very much about, finding that balanced state of just beingness, not making just choices about anything, not deciding whether something's good or bad or black or white. And that'll be there for the next 24 hours or so. Just relax into that, and then let me know like what comes up for you. But you're already healed. You're very powerful. So this is really much more about you connecting with and owning those much bigger parts of you, your personal power.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. What a perfect example of the personal power mixed with the higher consciousness. Yeah, that's exactly what that looked like. Woo! All right, thanks. So Cherry.
Hi. Yeah, it's
Hi.
Sherry. Hi. My name's Sherry.
Hi.
I'm just laying in the bed, so that's why I don't have the picture up.
Oh,
But
good. That's
um,
fine. That's fine.
cool. Thanks. I really I liked a lot of what you said to the last person there. I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but she really applied to me too. So I feel like that helped me. Um, and I'm sorry, I didn't think I'd get picked, so I didn't have a formulated question.
That's fine. Excuse me.
Okay, so I've been on my spiritual path for some time now. I've really feel like I've mastered a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of loss over the last few years, and now I'm in a stage of happiness and joy. And I know that that's my path because I read your email that said the same thing, spot on, about you're going to continue that trend of experiencing happiness and joy. So I have really been on the upside of things. I'm 45 years old. I'm very, very happy in my career. I work as a massage therapist for a really great spa, and they're world renowned. So it's a very competitive environment, but just also very busy. And I'm the way I'm looking at it now is that I'm grateful to be there because I get to touch as many people as I can to be of service to them, not I'm here to make money to pay my bills. So that's been on the upside. So the only question I really have is, um, I do have a private practice slash entrepreneurial stuff that I've been doing. It's kind of taken a back seat. I fit them in wherever I can, but I am super busy at this job. And I don't see myself leaving the job anytime soon because I've been through struggle financially, and it's just my intuition is saying stay there, allow things to unfold through your intuition, like you said earlier. Um, but I'm struggling with the fact that I can't seem to find the time or money or how I want to produce the product line that I have. I have it done. I just want to revise it. But I don't want to do the traditional marketing and all the stuff that goes with it because I don't really have the time. So that's where I'm struggling. And I just wanted to see if you had any insights about that.
So what's the primary energy around that business? Why do you want to do it? And what is it that you do? What's the shift you give your clients?
Well, initially, when I did private practice, it was surrounding massage, and then I also do energy healing work. So that's kind of
That's
like
what I'm
the,
leading.
what was that?
That's the part I'm interested in. Tell me what you do
Oh,
with that.
sure. Sure. So when I do a massage, even at work, I just sort of learned a lot of different modalities. So I don't even name it anymore, like the
Mm-hmm.
Reiki or the pranic. I just allow that energy to flow through me, and however it shows up for the client is what they receive for the day. So obviously working in a spa, I don't really get into too much detail, whereas private practice, I can kind of just take that to another level. Um, so what I did was I created massage packages where it could just be straight massage or energy healing with crystals, energy healing with meditative music, um, distance healing. And then I also created an all natural product line. So, that clients could really enjoy the benefit of natural healing products. And now I am a big fan of a lot of different things. Like I love coconut oil. I love Chanel. I love cheap stuff. I love expensive stuff. So I run the range, and what I notice the most is just the things that work really well. So, but the creation of the product line was about 5 years ago, and it was centered around natural healing and putting good stuff in your body because you don't want toxins in your body. So that's kind of where I was at with that whole thing. But here it is 5 or 6 years later, this job I've been at for 5 years. It's been a really beautiful experience, evolving and growing, especially with management, like taking what they tell me and really growing. And so now I'm just continuing that trend to be a better business person. But I find it really hard to do that in my personal private practice.
So in the private practice, though, tell me why you're passionate about it.
Because it's my own thing. I don't have to be, bound by any employer rules, like I just create my magic and then clients come back or they don't. I'm at a stage where I'm not interested in seeing private clients weekly. It's more about the energy healing. Come to me, see me, do your work, and come back if you need to several times. But it's more about being that blessing to hold that space for them. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like an infusion of massage and energy, and
Mm-hmm.
people tell me when they get a massage with me, it's like they almost have to come off the ceiling because they're so high or they're drunk. And I know it's the energy from the Om meditations and all these things. So
Yeah.
that's what they're getting. They're getting like that cellular rejuvenation, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're a very good healer. You have a lot of you use a lot of different things like I do, like vibration and just different energetic things, right? To
Yeah.
keep your space clear.
Yes.
So you're able to really hold a space for your clients, right? To not have they could just whatever they need can go right through you. You
Right.
really bring them up to a higher level. Well, let's look into here. The thing that's popping out the most is how you would feel having those clients come in. How often you want them to come in. How does it feel working with them? Just kind of jump into that stream. So just be tuning into that energy. How would that feel? How is it you want it? And as if you had like a little dial and you were looking at a movie and you could move it backwards and forwards, in the scene. So try, if I had X number of clients and you didn't have to worry about where they were coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so just moving back and forth, you don't even have to tell me, just tune into what feels good. Like where is that flow? Because you said, well, I don't want to do them weekly. And so, like how often, or, what feels good to you, or maybe there's workshops that you do sometimes, or you just kind of feel into that, dial that back and forth until you feel like you're sort of tuning in to the right station. You'll say, well, this level right now is feeling good.
Okay.
Feeling good. So what I want you to do now is, as you're tuning into that, now you're like the teacher, okay? And you're going to be telling all the different parts of you the way you would teach a little child, right? You say, okay, this is what we're going to do, right? Now, I'm working at my job right now. I feel aligned with my job. I feel like this is where I'm meant to stay. And I want this to grow and spread. So I need you to go out and find the people for this business, right? So your mind's going to go out and find the ideas and the people who show up and want to interview you, or whatever path they could come through. This is the team that's going to take over. Okay. So I want you stay tuned into the station. You're holding the vibration, the energy, to stay tuned into that station. And you're just going to be calling them in. So we're just going to open up some clear pathways and allow your mind to come in and take a look, and your emotional field to come in and take a look, right? Because you're imprinting, you're showing, okay, it's almost like you're giving out instructions. It's a play. Everybody has a different part in the play. So you're handing out some instructions to your emotional field, to that body. It could look like a person, say, okay, here, instead of feeling like this, you're going to feel like this. That's what this vision is. If people show up, the perfect clients show up, they, hit me up on Facebook, or I get an email, or I get a text message, people refer, whatever pathway, you guys are in charge of that, right? And this is how that's going to feel. So this is your job. You're going to start feeling like that. All right. Now you're going to give the instructions out to your mind. What are the kind of things it's going to think? What's it going to be aware of? So your job is to be alert and aware of, if I think of someone, or I feel like I should go, read an article or whatever, like I need to be alerted to what direction to go. And then you're going to go and find out whatever else I need. So it programmed inside of you is the passion, the excitement, the receptivity, the willingness to believe that this can be taken care of by my spiritual team. This can be taken care of by that, so that builds organically up to this place. And you're just going to keep feeling now, oh, wow, that worked, right? Oh, wow, that worked. Oh, that worked. Wow. You're building your trust, right? So you just keep building your trust, and you can fast forward the process by energetically tuning into this. And so just like you would practice a song, while you're teaching a group of children a song, you just handed out each of their parts to the different parts of you. We're going to say, okay, we're going to keep practicing this till we're in harmony, till we sing in beautiful harmony together, which means there we are. Now we're vibrating at that state. So I want you to just do some deep breaths and breathe it in to you, okay? And feel and see it like liquid energy. As you breathe that deep breath, you're breathing this reality in. And what it's doing, like liquid, is it's going through all the cracks, going through all the different parts, and it's finding those parts that are hardened and are saying, I don't believe this is true. You have to go do a lot of work to get clients. It's not just going to happen. Or anything like that, right? So you just breathe and let that breath turn into like a liquid energy that's moving through your cells, and just it's moving through your mind, going down into those little beliefs that are hunkered down in the ground. And like that beautiful liquid energy, because we're in that Scorpio moon, and Scorpio, I don't know why, is a water sign. So this is the power of the energies right now, is this potent energy, this sacred energy, this almost mystical energy that has very high vibration. Just feel that moving through your body, and it's going to dissolve. So make an agreement. All right, make an agreement with your mind and all the other parts of you that anything that resists this being my reality, it just is dissolved with love and flows out. And this is now going to continue for the next 48, 72, around 50 hours or so. So do different things, visualize it, shower, swim, and continue to feel this like softening, so that even if there's thoughts or beliefs deep within you. So, what's common is I heard a conversation once was like a musician, a young musician woman, and she's like, I just want to be a musician. I want to just go off to Hollywood, and my parents think I'm crazy and irresponsible, and and I know it's going to be hard work, and I know you have to starve and suffer, and you have to pay your dues, but I'm willing to do that. And I think it was Abraham Hicks maybe, and they said, well, you don't have to do that just because other people did that. Just because there's other musicians that took that path, really doesn't mean you have to. But if you want to, okay. But because it's become that belief that everybody has, and you feel like you have to believe it too. And so those are the things that we're allowing to come up. Those really powerful beliefs that sort of are, everybody believes that. So everyone believes that. And so I'm going to help imprint this for you by giving you a couple of real life examples. I interviewed a man a year or so ago who does some unusual energy healing work. Mostly working with dark energies, which has never been my specialty. And I was curious about him. And the more I looked into him, the more I researched, I thought, well, he seems like the real deal. So I interviewed him, and he lives in the middle of nowhere. It's just like you would never expect someone to live there. And he gets clients to do healing work with him, which is energy work, which I took to mean that he's probably not even on the phone with them. They write in and say, please do a healing session on me, right? And then he sits down all day long and does different long distance healings. And he only charges $80 a session, which, if I was coaching him, I would say you really need to charge a little more than that. But I was curious because he makes $500,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So you want to start to realize that just because this is the success advice that's being given out and everybody else is doing it this way, doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it that way. And the beauty is that for you, you're aware that my job still has some reasons for it. And yet I want to step more into this part of me and because when you have clients, when you're working with people, now you're developing your skills, right? You're having fun. You're in that feedback loop. And that's the best way for you to grow personally and spiritually and in your skills and serve. I mean, there's just nothing bad about it. And so, and this guy does no advertising. Now, the flaw in the model to me is I wouldn't, if you do the math, I don't know what it is, but $80 a session to make up $500,000 is a hell of a lot of healing sessions.
Yeah.
So he's a very, very, very busy man. And I asked him about that. And he said, if you're a healer and you're called to do your work, you do your work. Right. And so I was like, okay, dude, go, just go for it. But so, keep in mind that there's different ways to do that. There's a lady that I do not know her name. Someone told me about her. I looked her up. This was about 7 years ago. And I think she was in Florida. She does healing work. She teaches healing stuff. She does no advertising whatsoever. I think she just barely got a website, and she fills all of her classes, all of her workshops. And so you want to be smart, right? You want to look at your belief systems where you are. And that's where you're going to be dissolving and allowing the beliefs or the doubts, any of those voices. Those are energy. The beliefs are energy. The voices of your mom is energy, right? It's just energy. So as it comes up, you want to make sure that you release it, you bless it, you thank it. And then you declare that you're done with that energy pattern. And then replace it. Okay, and it's simple, and it's probably something you've done before, but the power of the energy happening right now, carrying things away, the way to complete that pattern is to allow it, right, to really embed. So, you are going to operate from that new you and allow all the old beliefs come up. You allow your spiritual team, your energy, your soul, whatever you want to call it, that team working for you 24/7. You're going to build your trust and belief around it. These are the parts of your job. And then your job is to be open and receptive, right? Like, okay, what are you going to throw to me? Like my team's out there working, like, okay, who do I talk to? What do I do? Like, just to follow that. Okay, I'm supposed to rest. I'll go rest.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's exciting. And I love it because whatever you're still doing where you are is going to complete something for you in your job. It's feeding your life, and it's giving you the stability to build this other side of you. And you don't need to wonder when. You will know when whatever transition is right will be.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
in the meantime, it's very fun, and enjoy it. And remember that there are people out there already. There's always people out there already that are waiting, right?
Yeah.
For exactly what you have. And so that to me is very motivating, when I realize that. So yeah, line up your spirit team.
Okay. Thank you for that. I did feel like an immediate shift after you said that, and the clearing, because yeah, it's just a juggling act, and I'm really following my intuition. My intuition is saying, stay at your job, enjoy the financial stability that's there, because you've gone through a lot trying to do your business on your own, and debts and all that stuff. So that's like, they don't want me to go through that process anymore. They want me to kind of focus on the 1 or 2 days off, and like you just said, resting has been popping up a lot lately, and I'm a go type of gal, so it's hard for me to sit still. So those are the little things I'm like kind of struggling with, but I think that's the reason. It's just I need to stay focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to the energy of enjoying those two
Okay.
sides as you're playing in both worlds,
Okay.
right? Because again, this is that theme that we're playing in right now, being who we've been and who, and becoming who we're turning into, what we're
But I didn't even
becoming.
have it in that pocket. Damn it.
Okay. And
Lisa,
I
can
don't
you
know who
mute
that was.
yourself? I'm going to mute everyone. You unmute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so just unmute yourself, Sherry. Always like
Oh,
what
got
comes
it.
through.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, sorry. Um, there is one thing last that I'd like to ask you. Because of my work environment, it's very competitive and I love the people there, but I also see how they're showing me I'm really just trying to live the life of positive energy and good. And when I do start to feel that negativity, that's when I hole up in my apartment. I listen to my meditation. I really take it down to 20 notches of nothingness. And it helps because I'm constantly giving, like you said to the last caller, I give so much from my heart, but I'm replenishing every day too. I meditate every single day. So it's clearing my energy. I don't feel like it's draining me physically, but um, I guess where I was going with that is I feel a lot of joy, but then I also feel like if I try to share this with people, it's almost like the crabs in the bucket. They don't want you to get out. So
Yes, yes.
what's the best way to approach that at work? Because lately I've just been mum about everything because I do see
Yeah.
success. I do see it on the horizon. And the reason why I brought up Chanel was because I love her story of how she created the products and how she worked tirelessly and she did not have a love life. I've been there, done that. I don't care about the love life at this moment. I feel like when I'm 85, I might meet the right man. Until then, I'm happy just kind of using this time for myself. And so, and I'm quite happy where I'm at with things, but being in my 40s too, I've lived. So I feel like I'm at a really good place to embrace being selfish and doing things for myself. But I'm also heart-centered. So it's hard for me to sometimes let go of what people say or what they impose on me. How can I better handle that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was zoning in on, was the attachments there as well.
Yes.
So this is the biggest challenge for sensitives, right? For
Yes,
people
that's
who
me.
are healers, or, we're sensitive to energies, or we've activated a lot of our senses, or we came in very open and empathic or sensitive, and then a lot of times had to shut down different parts of our life, and needing and wanting to fully embrace that, because the fears come up from the past, like, ooh, burned at the stake syndrome, what will happen, be outcast, beheaded, whatever, all the different versions of being, criticized or ridiculed, whatever. So you really hit the core of it. So a lot of what you were talking about is the story. And so when you step back again and you look at it as energy or color, and you're like, okay, I'm watching a movie. What's the storyline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the hero is left, his home in search of this dream, and then he met the dragons, and then he almost died, and then he starts to come back. Oh, that's where I am. Like, we're literally, right? So we're really living that hero's journey. We're going
Okay.
through the cycles of that, and to me, that helps me depersonalize it, right?
Okay.
And see that. So you really are going through that underworld where it's kind of lonely, to be honest.
Yes.
It's kind of lonely because the people that you've been around don't have the same interests and aren't vibrating at the same rate. Doesn't make
Right.
them right or wrong. It's just you're going over here and you like mustard and I don't. So, and then the place you're going to, you're still developing into who you are. So you'll find people, like on a call like this or anything, you'll find people that are similar or support that or believe in you or talk about these things. So there's no way around that. I've never found it not to be lonely when I go through a major transition, because groups of friends might fall off. Certain people in your family you may not talk to for a while. You may move to a new town, right? It's kind of like a teenager growing up, becoming something new and having to leave the house, and go out and find something new. So that's just acknowledging where you are in the cycle of your, your evolution right now. And so find the people that you can talk to, but I'm not personally a big fan of telling people that don't get it,
Right.
because it's really like, why do you need to tell them? Now,
Right.
that's what you want to look at is, do I need to tell them because I want their approval? Do I want to tell them because I feel like really proud of myself and I want somebody to be like, way to go, Do I want to tell them just because like I'm so excited about what's happening to me? I just want everybody to know about it, right? Like, look at the energy underneath it. I remember when I first started learning about spiritual things, I was like, what? Oh my God. And I wanted to tell everybody, guess what?
Yeah.
And so look at the energy under why you would tell them, and then address that, because again, that's the energetic attachment. Sometimes it's just, I'm lonely, I want to tell somebody, but then say, okay, well, is this still the best thing? Because the worst thing you can do to something that's budding, like a new little shoot, is stick it out in 100-degree heat and don't give it any shade or water. So it's kind of like when we're transforming who we are, when we're in that accelerated upgrading kind of who we are, changing how we think and feel and who we think we are and what we want and all that. That's a transformational state that needs to be nurtured, right? So spending, time with yourself in nature is really good.
Yeah, for sure.
If you can, there's something about the nighttime stars and night sky type of thing that's very good for you in particular.
Okay. That's actually a great idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you have something you can do to do that.
Okay. No, it's funny you said that because I deal with people 5 days a week and I love it. I also know I need to take that time to be away from people, which is why I hold up here the last couple of days off, because I normally would go outside and go take a walk in nature, but I don't want to see people. I don't want to ask anything. I don't want to say hello. I don't want to be making any conversation. It's not that I'm antisocial. It's just that I really want to re-energize my being and my core, because the things that come at me, for some reason, when clients get me, they never quite lay there and be quiet on the table. They just automatically start asking questions, and that's quite okay, because sometimes when I'm in that zone, I can pick up answers that are not even coming from me. It's very cosmic. So I'm so happy to be of service in that way. And it's why I was saying too, I don't want to be tethered to like a 9-to-5 work week in my private practice. I like freedom. I like flexibility. I like staying fresh and new and helping others, because that revs up my energy to do more. And but anyway,
that's
the nighttime thing.
Well, and that's why you attracting more clients to work with on your own, whatever the perfect amount is as you evolve, is perfect, right? It's going to give you all that stuff. So what about the night?
Well, the nighttime actually sounds great, because to refresh my mind and body and just be out in that cool air, it does seem really good. It just, I've done it before. I just haven't done it as of late. So I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Yeah, I like it. We have a roof deck, the entire top of our house. They call it a penthouse. It just means you're on the top floor and then you have your own roof deck to hold the roof. It's so wonderful. I mean, it's got
lovely.
seating, it's got jacuzzi, it's got some nice stuff too, but I just go up there. If I wake up, I watch the sunrise. I go out there. Last night I was out there in the middle of the night under the full moon. The day before, I was sitting out there riding, and the moon started coming up as the sun was setting.
Wow.
Just having that connection, that's going to be
Yeah.
very powerful for you. So, all right, good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, let's do one more person before we take a break here. So let me go here and see if I can see where we are. Oh, I muted myself. Oh my gosh, no, you can hear me now, I think. Oh, how long did I have myself muted? Well, hopefully that's been fixed. SOS. When was this?
Oh, I heard everything.
Okay, weird.
This
Okay.
is No, you were fine. I heard everything you said.
Oh, okay, great. All right, let's see. So I'm just going through, scrolling back here to see who pops up at me. So we'll do one more healing. We'll take a short break and we'll come back and we'll do completely different people. So if you put your name in for healing, you might get picked for a message from your future self. Over the break, you can integrate anything you got from anybody else's healings or readings, and then tune back in. Remember, you've been connected now to your future self. So okay, so I saw somebody who jumped out. Their name starts with an L. Let me see if I can find it here. My glasses are so bad. Leanna, Leanna, Lainna, I think. Are you still there? Lena?
Oh, can you hear me?
Lena. Oh, yeah, there you go. How do you say your name?
Hi, it's pronounced Lena.
Lena. Okay, how pretty. Oh, I always wanted a cool, pretty name like that. It's so funny the things you have in your childhood. I hate my name.
Except nobody can pronounce it. My mom was very creative, so she always wanted to spell things differently, so nobody can pronounce it correctly.
I don't blame her. One of my daughters is named Sierra, and it's spelled Sierra, Siera, like the water in the mountains and everything else. But I played with the spelling Ciera and all this kind of stuff because I was like, we wanted to do that, and there was just a very clear message from her before she even, showed up. Was like, no.
That's cute.
And now I can see that in her personality. No, you're not giving me a weirdo spelling to my name.
I love it. That's awesome.
So, well, hello, sweetheart. How are you on the full
Hi.
moon?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
Good. So, how can I be of service?
Well, when I first joined the call, I really didn't know what to expect, and then I had this strong pulling on my heart to address something that has been an issue with me for, I don't know, let me think, 6 years now. I have a stepdaughter, and when my husband and I first started dating, she was only 3 years old, and I'm just going to be very raw and real. I never bonded with her, and as sweet as she is, I've just had a really hard time even liking her. And I'm married now. She's 9, and I try as hard as I can to be loving towards her, but it's all very forced, and I so badly want to have a good relationship with her. And I have prayed, I have tapped, I've done everything, and I just don't know how to connect with her. It's not her. She is a good girl. She's sweet. I mean, she's come a long way. She used to have, issues dealing with her mom, but it's all me, and I don't know why I can't connect with her.
Good. Okay. And does the feeling you have with her remind you of anybody else or any situation you had in your past?
The only thing that I can think about is that my husband is extremely loving and affectionate towards her. And my dad was never that way towards me. And I always was struggling for his affection. And so I think there's a part of me that's jealous. Well, I know. I mean, there's a little girl in me that's extremely jealous of the attention that she gets from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's who's operating, right? Because the vows we make when, you know, something happens in a life that we have that's like, you know, just like shocking or, you know, hurtful. So somebody was never good enough. My dad never loved me. Huge. Little girls and their dad, massive.
Yeah.
I went through 5 years of hypnosis training, and a friend of mine went through too. So we'd get together, hypnotize each other, practice and whatever. And so 5 years of working with each other plus other stuff. And I come out of a session with him and I looked at him and I said, when is why doesn't my dad love me stuff ever going to go away? You know, because that came up again for me. And he looked at me and goes, I don't know, but I hope soon because I'm tired of it. You know, very loving. But so it's so powerful. You feel like you can release so many other things. And so this is the power of the child, not just the inner child, right? The actual child that we've lived as, that we choose these families to have these exact experiences. And It's often really hard to accept that or to believe that. But the fact is that when we realize that, then we can get to switching out of why me and whatever. So perfect experience. So I was teaching this to a new client of mine today. There's something called the acceptance process. If you're familiar with Power versus Force, it's a book by David Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard? So they measured the states of consciousness. So the vibrational scale, or what Abraham Hicks would call the emotional scale. So it's the same thing. Levels of consciousness or awareness or dimensions or emotional scale, they're all the same thing. You change your vibration. So the lowest vibration that's measurable in a human before they're dead is a shame. So that, you know, when you're in shame, you don't want to talk to anybody. You have no energy. You could care less. You couldn't go out and conquer the world or do anything great. You have no energy at all, right? And then there's guilt, and then it keeps moving up the scale. So they're at the level of acceptance. So you move up through these other energies. And sometimes we need anger. It's not that we don't want to go to these lower energies, but we want to be like, oh, that guilt's coming up. And I remember when I used to live in that guilt that I got because of my mom or whatever. And then you watch it go and you don't own it, right? So that's what we want to get to. But you need to go to anger sometimes. What do you have to say? Hey, wait a minute, I'm not taking this anymore, right? But I want you to like go up into the level of acceptance. At the level of acceptance, it's where you take your power back. So I used to perceive that as weak. What do you mean accept? I'm not accepting this. This isn't okay the way this person acted. This isn't okay that my life isn't the way I want it. I'm not accepting that. That makes me weak. That's not what it is. Acceptance is the point where you go into neutrality, right? You're not attached anymore to, I wanted my dad to love me. My value is based on that. We all come in and we want love. And there isn't a single moment in your whole life you turn the volume down on the negative voices, right? You turn your volume down on the survival part of you. We all still have that survival voice that says, you know, if I don't belong, if I'm not loved, then danger, danger, danger. I'm going to die, really, basically.
Right. So
we come in, we need that love. And at some point that love is broken. Everybody has it. You have to. That's the pattern. That's the reason you have parents. It may be for 3 minutes they give you that love, or 3 days, or 3 hours, or 3 years, or 10 years, or whatever. There's a point when then there was a feeling inside of you that they didn't love you, and you had to change who you were to be good enough to keep getting that love. So that's so powerful, and let me just look through. It's just so many lifetimes, right? So many energy patterns around that being good enough, being approved by. There's a pattern in here around authority figures. A lot of it is with men, not just men though, but there's a lot of patterns of that giving, you know, power over to man, which isn't, you know, it's common for everybody because we've had 2,000 years, right, of patriarchal kind of societies that we've lived in. So this is great. This is really awesome because you've got the awareness that you have this child that you've agreed to, not just here, right? This is a soul agreement. You are all together. Yeah. So the relationship you're having now, she feels it too. She's having whatever her purpose is part of this relationship, but you can control your side of it. So this is 100% about healing that part of you that still wants dad's attention, right? That
Okay.
love. And so you have to do two things. You have to give that part of you a voice. So you want to do this as much to yourself as possible, right? So, so you can sit down and meditate and like go in and express it. You can write it out. You can go walk on the beach or go walk in, the woods or somewhere where you could yell and scream if you need to. But you absolutely have to give her a voice, because you were told a lot of things like you shouldn't need that attention and you need too much and you're too sensitive and learn to entertain yourself, things like that.
Yeah.
Right. So this is about being seen and being valued, and it's about you having the opportunity to express the pain that caused you, because that's the biggest attack. This isn't a string or a tube. This is a frigging tree trunk, right? This is an attachment. This is a massive attachment. And what's beautiful is that this part of you is like, I'm able to see this now, and I'm going to heal this because this relationship's very important to me, right? With this girl,
Yeah.
with your daughter. I'm adopted. My twins are adopted, and so my entire life is steeped in this relationship with family that I'm not actually blood family with, right? There's not that part of it, and yet it's still a very, very strong relationship. So this is a beautiful thing. In the meantime, give yourself the time to yourself to rejuvenate so that you can be at your best in that relationship while you're giving yourself time to heal. So this is like just learning how to fence and not choosing to go into a fencing match until you're good at fencing.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I do.
Don't force your relationship. Don't go and go, okay, I'm going to fix this now. I know what it is. And I'm going to go try to change my talking to her. Give yourself time to do this yourself. This is your inner work. Okay. And then organically, I want you to do this as a giving touch. So what I mean by that is that when and if you feel like, I would just love to reach out and pat her on the back, because you would like to, not because you think you should, to connect to her. Okay. You want to start to switch to that, because the energy is obvious to anybody, right? Even to her, she may not even consciously put words to it, but everybody's energetically is aware of that. So this is about 100% honoring you, to express to yourself as much as possible, not to everybody else, but give that part of you a voice, and then seen, held, nurtured, right? And then begin to replace that with, you don't have to jump to like, I'm everything I need, I don't need other people, You take the first little step, right? What's the first step is, well, you know what? My dad brought me in the world, did the job I asked him to do, and this love that I want, this approval that I want, what would I do if I was going to give it to somebody, if I was the parent giving it to me? And then start to think of how you can do those little things for yourself.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you're going to do that. And then I find through this process, the more you just accept, you go into that state of acceptance. I'm really pissed off at my dad right now. Right? Instead of being like, why am I pissed off at my dad? Why is this coming up again? Don't go down that road. Just be like, oh, whoa, wow, I'm feeling something happened that's making me mad at my dad. Or something happens that's making me feel like I want to cry, like I'm all alone in the world and nobody cares about me. Honor and accept. So move into that vibration of acceptance. That's where you take your power back. So I'm like, I'm feeling, I had this mentor and he would be just like, everything was an observation. Oh, I'm doing grief now. Oh, that's interesting. Just like you're walking through the woods, like, oh, it's snowing now. Okay, we're doing snow. Oh, we're doing jealousy now. I'm feeling jealous of my wife. So instead of like, ooh, fighting it, right? Be in it. And don't own it though, right? Acceptance means you're like, oh, okay, I'm feeling that. And then you watch it just move through you in whatever way you see that. And then you're like, oh, okay, that was interesting. But you don't pick it up and walk around with it. So this is
Do you
really,
have-
really powerful.
It really is. And I know that I mean, the time has come when I need to heal it. When you say to acknowledge, I'm very closed off emotionally. Like I don't, it happened when I was very, very young. So I almost have a hard time even acknowledging the feelings. Do you have a way of like being able to become more aware of the feelings as they come?
Well, this is where you want to stay attuned to your energy. So just how do you feel? I'm feeling kind of irritated. I'm feeling like, I don't know, I don't want to be around people. Okay, well,
Okay.
that's a feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go take a minute, even if you're like somewhere where you really can't go sit down and take a half an hour to write or something, but you can go to the bathroom. That's what's cool about the bathroom, right? You can always go to the bathroom. You always have an excuse to be alone for at least a few minutes wherever you are. And so, you can go in there, and that's where you can just be like, what is this feeling?
Mm.
Why am I feeling it? Okay, well, come on in. And I like to visualize.
Yeah, I'm a visualizer too. Oh, did I lose you? Hello?
So doing that at the end of the day, it's really good to journal, to sit down and think back through the day, because then you're separated from the experiences. You can see it a little bit more. But this is part of what this healing is for, because for you to really embody the next you have to reconnect to your emotional body. You have to give it permission to unfreeze.
Okay.
You put a spell on it, right? It's sort of like
Yeah.
frozen. And so that's part of why your head is acknowledging this energy that you're seeing in this relationship. And you're like, oh, we need to fix this. But it means diving into your emotions. So, of course, thinking about your dad wanting that love and not giving you approval, all the things you thought it meant. You can have a conversation, you can write, or you can just think. You as that child who was really wanting that attention, that love, that acknowledgement, you can write about the feelings of how it felt, because you had to shut down those feelings to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got to unlock the feelings to survive.
Okay.
So that was an agreement you made with yourself, right? At some point when you were younger. Oh yeah, this isn't good. I can't take the pain anymore, right? No, this isn't good. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. We all do this. Things happen and we go, nope, never doing that again. Right. And so this is a command. This is the program, the spell. This is what you told yourself to do. So now you're going to ease into that. Just be aware when you're just tuning into your emotions, they can be kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where you go in and you give yourself specific time to sit down and to write about it, or to just feel it, or to cry. And it's because crying or thinking about something and then getting upset, feeling that just means there's still an attachment there, right?
Okay.
All it's doing is triggering chemicals in your brain to get dumped in your bloodstream is all that's really happening. And then you have a meaning behind what that means. I feel hurt. I feel betrayed. I feel alone, right? And none of those are true.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to start to dive into that world of emotions. So that's good too right now, with this being a water energy sign, because it's all about emotions. So take showers and feel it washing away, letting the emotions come up and wash away.
Okay.
I invite one particular energy in, right? If you're like, oh crap, no, I don't want to think about that. It makes me cry. Okay, I'm going to think about that.
Okay.
Right. And that gives you practice with letting it out a little bit at a time and washing it away and beginning to feel that you can handle your emotions again, because then you're going to get to choose them. Then you're going to get to choose that. My guess is that if your husband's really loving, with his daughter, that's probably his nature, and so you've found somebody to be with who's very loving and demonstrative.
Yes.
And has what you were missing. So we want you fully present in the moment, being able to receive that from him. And my guess is there's probably some tension between you and him, whether it's spoken or not, because you're not a good receiver.
Yeah. I
right?
wonder
It
if,
was,
and like you were saying, like she feels the energy, the hesitating energy towards her. I'm sure he does as well. And again,
yeah.
it's that's another whole other thing, is that I want to be more receptive to it. You know, as a little girl, I wanted it so badly, and now I'm just like, it's
You don't want it because it
right,
hurts if you don't
right,
get it. So it's
yeah,
easier. But I can tell you, after being married for 25 years to somebody who I loved, and I tried a million ways to figure out how to tell them or demonstrate it or show them, but they were a terrible receiver. And I didn't know how to say that. I didn't understand that at the time. But I realized afterwards, wow, sometimes we're programmed to think like, no, it's okay. I don't need anything. And I give everything to everyone else and I don't need this. But it's difficult for people who love you and are trying to give to you when you're not open and willing to receive the compliment or the kindness or the
yeah,
love or the invitation, and especially this. And I'm sure whether it's conscious or verbal or not, he can feel that energy pattern in you. You
yeah,
releasing this is going to explode your relationship into a whole new level, because you're going to be able to feel and receive and give so much more. But this is big, so be really gentle with yourself, because as this shifts, it's gonna be a lot of different things come up. And just know, hey, I may not handle it all really well. I used to tell Chris that. I'd say, I'm going to let myself be angry because I never let myself be angry my whole life. That was
yeah.
inappropriate. So maybe you should leave the house for the day, like just
Okay.
like warning, like, so, just like being aware, like if I'm going to invite this to come back up and I'm not really a master at it because I haven't been dealing with my emotions for a while,
Yeah.
then I may not be really good at handling and expressing them, but it's worth it. So I'm really
Okay.
excited for you, because so much more love and so much more, there's so much kindness and love and this nurturing and touching energy in the field around
Mm,
all of you. And yeah, I'd love to see you open up to that.
yes, me too. That's
All
great.
right.
I have some work cut out for me. So I thank you so much for that. That's very helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lots of love.
Thank
So,
you.
okay. So we're going to take a few minutes. I know we're about a half an hour past our break time, but so, a lot of the things we've been talking about, a lot of the healings that we've been doing, whether you want to be a healer or practitioner or not, you might want to think about the Light Body Healing class, because what it does is it gives you access to this kind of information that I'm reading for you. It gives you an understanding of the patterns that you're running. So you might start perceiving them energetically, or you might start getting hits on like, oh, this is related to that or this. And it's really about accelerating your own spiritual growth, accelerating your own energetic skills. And it increases everything. It increases the love that you're able to receive and give in your family, to your loved ones, to your children's. It helps you release attachments to people that you felt hurt by, release guilt, failure that you may feel you have, because it's all about clearing that energy field. And that stuff keeping you at the lower vibrations on a consistent level doesn't allow you to live at a high level, doesn't allow you to open up and activate your DNA. The scientists have actually proven now that the reason that most people haven't opened and activated their other DNA is because you have to be at a high vibrational level on a consistent basis. So this is all about raising our vibration, clearing the past, redefining our image of ourselves, and stepping into our true nature. So let's come back at 5:35. So it's 5:30 now, and we will go for another hour from when we come back. So I want to make sure that I'm going to do future messages from your future self. So we'll go through the list, and I'll pick out the names that pop up at me. So come back in 5 minutes, and I'll see you then. Hello, everybody. And I know I said we were going to start here at 5:35, but I just realized I need to run to the bathroom. I was sitting here listening to the conversation going on in the light realms around me, and just tuning into what we've been up to. So as you're coming back on, we're going to start in a couple minutes. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. So I'm going to go through the list there and call on a few people, and we're going to do readings from your future self. And while I'm in the bathroom real quick now, I'll tune in and see whether I'm going to ask you anything or if I'll just, call on you, and then we'll just tune in and we'll do that. But give me a second and I'll be right back and we'll get started again. In fact, Donna, if you're still there, if you could go ahead and post again, if you have a second, go take a look at the nanakasha.com/lbheal, the Light Body Healing course that's starting, and the retreats, the Equinox retreat here with the dolphins and the magic in the Mayan pyramids. That's blissliferetreats.com. You can take a look at that, and if you're not sure if either of them are right for you or whatever, just still go ahead and email Donna or send her a message on Facebook and say, I'd like to talk to Nan. We'll do a quick scan and we'll do a reading on where you are, what's going on. Let's I can have my video on. Um, I know, Donna, can you change it to like speaker, whoever's talking? Because for me, I'm not in the center panel right now. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't matter, but for the recording, so whoever's talking is highlighted. Yeah, get on the call with me. I know that Spirit's going to draw the right people together. We had Julie Ling. Hey, Julie, if you're out there, join our course today. Ronnie's hopefully coming on a little bit later. I'll have her come on and share a few interesting things. She's always got interesting stories if she's able to come in a little while. So we have an amazing group. Part of what will happen in the Light Body Healing is you're going to connect with the other people in this. You're going to activate your own powers. You're going to clear your own past. You're going to tie up your own karma. And then you're going to learn how to use and direct those energies for healing yourself, others, environments, the earth. And that will help activate you into your soul purpose and have more clear communication. So everything is possible from that point. Everything is energy. So, all right, good. So welcome back. Get ready for messages from your future self. Remember that if I'm doing a reading for somebody else, you're going to probably be getting some information yourself. You'll either be going, oh, wow, that rings true for me, which is always true. There's going to be information that comes to you from everything that we do here. But also that you may be getting some other information or just being downloaded with your connection to your higher self. So give me 1 sec. I'll be right back and we'll get started. Okay, I'm coming back online here. And I just realized I had to plug into power. So I'm going to try to do this through my speaker. And so let me know. I don't have my headset on now because I have one of these new iPhones that you can't plug in your power and your headphones at the same time. And they didn't think that one through. So I'm just going to quick check the chat box here so let me know. I love it. Summer, I am ready. So type in the chat box if you can't hear me. All right, so Donna, can you do me a favor? Can you copy oh, I guess we have the chat, so we know who asked for healing, that if we don't get to anybody, that we can follow up with you. So someone lost audio. All right. All right, so Jacqueline asked, thanks for sharing about your relationship with your mother. I too have the same relationship and realized just today that I've become resentful and spiteful, which has blocked my prosperity. Does anyone have any techniques or tools you can share that will help to overcome that? So all the different work we're doing here, the energies that you're in right now as part of this healing experience, the light body work that I do privately or that I teach, this is what this is all about. So as I went on my search, when the first few things fell apart in my life and I didn't understand what to do because I had no spiritual or religious upbringing, I started to ask, who am I? How do I create my own reality? What's underneath that? And so I began to meditate. I began to do healing work. I began to become familiar with energy. But I also became a hypnotherapist because at one point I realized how much my mind was a part of it. And then a lot of it was focused around reprogramming your mind and understanding the science behind your mind and your subconscious mind and all of this kind of thing. And those were all great, but then put all together, that's what you get, right? So what you want to do is take what I just explained to the last person, right? Or Sherry or Karen, like a lot of the things that I've explained to them, you can pull some of those techniques and do it. The thing is our mind constantly wants to try to find something a little bit easier, a little bit better, a little bit different. And you know, if you take some very simple techniques, but you actually do them, like you really, really do them, you will find that you will powerfully begin to, oh, you know, the resentment and the spite, do the acceptance process, breathe it through, right? Say, oh, okay, I'm feeling very, very resentful and spiteful towards my mom. My mother disowned me, you know. My mother disowned me in the middle of my divorce, you know, like it was mind boggling, that energetic love betrayal kind of thing, right? And so this is something you've experienced and now you're going to let it go, right? So you start with the choice that I don't want to have resentful, spiteful energy as part of any of my patterns or thoughts. So I'm detached about what, you know, and there's different layers of it. So you accept how you feel and what comes up. Okay. So that's what I would really recommend there. Let's see what else we got here. I think it says Christine. Where did Nan go? Oh, it's weird. Okay. I've been trying to get you based on how I was initially. I have a pattern of having a great amount of power, manifesting what I want, then sabotaging or having something happen that makes me use it all up. Like a car accident that used up all my savings. It took more than 3 years for the insurance to pay out, more than 2 years before I could work again. Also, not feeling happy when everything is finally going right. Got it. Yep, I see that too. I keep being drawn to you and feel that you are the one that can help for over a year now. Thank you so much. So that's fun. I was thinking about you the other day. I think I said hi to you or something on Facebook. So that's Christine Gale. Hi, sweetie. So obviously there's layers in this story. What's cool about the story is, and you know, we should talk, you know, maybe coming through the Light Body course is exactly what you need, because you're going to deep dive into that. We find what the meaning is behind these things happening. Like you said, now you're aware there's this pattern. Okay, well, let's go find the pattern, and not beat it into submission, not try to avoid it, not to try to power through it with another technique or something, but let's actually just go to the core, and find what's the most important thing about where this came from, or why it was created, what was the purpose of it, what's my relationship to that pattern. So I've had that roller coaster income, right, for 25, 30 years, this pattern, and I kept going behind it, and then I kept having to go behind it again. I kept going behind it again. And so it's just constantly an opportunity, right? So the patterns come up again, let's dissolve it now. So I would recommend, let's get on a conversation anyway, just to catch up. But we can look into that, whether that might be a good path for you. You know, I work with people individually, so that's certainly an option. You can take some of the things, these healings from the call, and apply that. But going through the Light Body course, it's going to be giving you the skills, the discovery, the clearing, the activations, the healings that are going to happen for you, and then the skills you're going to build on learning to how to work through this. And so you would already have tools to go right into, okay, here's the pattern, right? So, and you're in a catch-22 or a double bind, because, right, it's like wanting to manifest this, manifesting all of it, and then it all goes away. And you need to understand what's the story under that. What's the agreement under that, right? What is the actual root of that? Because that's just the result. That's the manifestation of the agreement, of the belief, right? And that's from many, 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 many lives. So it's very, very big and strong. That's why it's coming up. And then the not feeling happy when everything's going well, right? Just not ever good enough. That's a safety mechanism as well. So that's a key to where you want to go. Those are two things that are keeping you like between rock and a hard place. And you want to free that part of you. You're very powerful. You have a lot of really amazing high vibration feminine energy. You know, the flow that you're supposed to be in has been blocked a lot by the mental patterns that you're using. Right. So let's just, since I stopped and said hi to you, let's just see. Let's just tune into a message for you. Let me just check and make sure that you can hear me. Go back.
I can hear you.
You can't see me. Oh.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. I have the Bliss Life press
right.
always up. There you are.
Sorry about that. I didn't turn my video
That's
on.
okay.
The whole screen takes up with the chat window. So, okay. So good. So hi, Christine.
Hi.
All right. So we're all in a league of light, so to speak, right now. And I'm here as a conduit to work for what's the highest vibration of energy to move through for Christine. And all of the rest of you are here because you have different things that are coming to you. So just go ahead, everybody, and affirm that you're open and receptive, right? And you're ready and willing to receive exactly what you're here to receive. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you're going to receive it. That is your choice, your command. That's what you're telling the troops, all those different parts of you. Your mind, your heart, your energy, your emotions, everything. Okay, and then now you can just relax because you know you're going to receive exactly what you need. And I want you to just imagine again as if we are all in a circle. And we're in a circle floating around the planet. And the planet is glowing, kind of like a golden glowing globe. And we're circling the planet because we're all here from all over the world right now. And we've let go of our personal needs, right? The thoughts around, oh, I want a healing on this, or I hope I get that. We know and we trust that we are going to receive exactly what I need here today. And we're just releasing that. So that part of you, that personality part of you, that ego part of you, whatever you want to call it, the ego isn't bad. It just has a purpose. It shouldn't run the show. Just let that sort of float up out of you. So now you see and feel we're all floating in a circle around the planet. And then that part of us, it looks sort of like a ghost, right? Sort of like a subtle body, like an energetic body of us just floated up out of us and is floating in a circle around all of us. Ah, good. And in this space now, you're just going to open up and be a clear and open channel for divine love, acceptance. Ah, good. And perfect, crystal clear communication. So just tune into that and see how we're creating that. And that just begins to emanate from you. It emanates out from you, merges together as it's pouring down onto the planet. And we're just going to allow that to continue to flow through all of us and create this beautiful healing space. And we're going to bring in the full color spectrum. And that means on all dimensions and all levels, colors we can and can't see with our eyes, colors that move and live and vibrate at states and rates we've never experienced. So just feel those waves of infusion of that full color spectrum, and that creates this beautiful safe space. So let's see, let me tune into Christine. So, all right, my dear. So what we're going to do is, yes, okay. So we're going to tune into you a year from now. Earlier in the call, we were guided through a group process. If you came on later, you want to get the replay. The first hour, we had a channeling, a download of information, and a group guided process where we connected with ourselves on New Year's Eve. And so that part, that connection has become really solidified through the rest of the call. So through the healings and now through these future readings, all of the energies that we've set up that are bringing in our personal power and freeing it and opening us to go to the highest level of consciousness we can. So power with consciousness is our theme, and we're riding the waves of energy of the moon. So everybody breathe that in and affirm, I don't have to do anything. I can just receive the waves of love and power from the moon. You just have to be ready, willing, open, and receptive. So you're trusting that those energies are going in and freeing your personal power. It's a very, very potent time, and this is a very potent up-leveling. So that's why we want to draw in your future self, your future knowledge. So here in this divine space, we give great gratitude. And we open a clear and open channel to Christine's highest self. And the self she will be in all of her other bodies down and into her physical body 1 year from now. 1 year and a month, okay, somewhere in there. All right. All right, good, there we go. Now we have a perfect, clear, and open connection. And I'm just going to invite future Christine. What is the message that you have for Christine right now, knowing where she is, what she's going through, what she's feeling? This is you, and now you're living. This is the optimal outcome that aligns with your highest good and your highest happiness. It's aligned with your soul purpose. Good. So there's some energetic connections and cords that are being hooked up now. Christine, for you, to you in a year from now. Okay, what a beautiful smile. Just laughing, your eyes are sparkling. You look like a 40s movie star. You have that kind of glow, you know, that would make people glow, and it's sort of just this essence, your essence that's coming through is very, very, very beautiful. So what message do we have? Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's okay. It's about balance, but not in the way you think of balance. So I was resisting saying the word balance. I'm like, no, give me a different word. They're like, just say it. So there's a balancing to your male and female sides. And this is a balancing where the feminine side's allowed to flow more and have more authority. So make the choices now based on how you want to feel then. Make the choices, not based on immediate concerns, not based on what you can see, what you know is possible, on certainty in how or who or where. Allow the feminine, very powerful but intuitive feminine in you to rise up and balance out that this is the key to the flow. Always making a choice towards your highest happiness, and that you're not it's not about not being willing. There's no notness in it. So I'm looking for the right words. There's a conjuring and an allowing. So this is about dumping the feelings and the thoughts and the heaviness around what's happened, not giving it any more thought, and focusing on this. They keep showing me butterflies that are flying up and flying up and flying up. Just they keep coming, like different colors and stuff. So there's a flow, and your feminine has to be released, and your intuitive nature has to be released, and you have to make some choices that don't make logical sense, and you have to take the time for you to nurture you. And they're telling me it's like your feminine skills or something like that. It's like, owning your energy, learning how to, tune into who you really are, that kind of thing, how to speak it and be it. But it's very much in tune to your future essence. This isn't a weak femininity. This is a standing fully in your power, honoring the feminine aspects of you to be the guidance, and the male aspects of you to be the builders, So I see them going out and coming back, and that part of you. So, all right, good. Next. Ooh, I'm feeling an acceleration of energy right now. Okay, let me see here. Chat. Oh, thank you, Sharon. How sweet. Hi, Marnie. Woohoo. We've got to talk. All right, so Beth S says, cancer, car accidents, physical restrictions from accidents. Is this related to the area I moved to, or lessons starting my healing business? Woo! All of the above. Affirmative. Where you move to is very karmic, and you don't have to stay there any longer. So if there's any sense of obligations there, you can definitely go. It's like somebody unhooked a car seat, like a buckle, right? And it's sort of like, hey, you're free to go now. So there was a reason to be there for sure. So this is all about you starting your healing business. Okay. And your name is very magical, Beth, 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 Beth. There's something about the vibration of that that holds some kind of a key for you. There's an acceptance key around your name. I don't know what it is, but that's just a little message right there. Accepting and owning your name or what it means. There's something you've got around that. Okay. So yeah, this is about your healing business. This is about seeing yourself, being willing to accept, be worthy of. All of those different strings are in here. Being successful, being good enough, being capable, what you think it's going to entail, right? Energetically, time-wise, all those different things. There's some of all of those, and then some other aspects in here. And so it's not that you got cancer or you had a car accident because you're trying to start a business, okay? When you decide, oh, hey, the next level of who I am is starting a healing business, there's a whole bunch of shifts that happen. Your belief systems, your focus, fears around being seen, being criticized, not being good, all of those things come up and they have to come out. So that's why business is a very, very fast spiritual path. It puts you in the hot seat constantly, right? You're putting yourself out there. You're facing all of those doubts about yourself, all the programs, everything like that. So the Cancer is a releasing of a very, very, very old pattern. It's almost revered in your family. There's something about it that's, and I mean your ancestral family, so it may or may not make sense to this family right now, but there's something very ancient, like a family heirloom that gets passed down, that has something to do with the Cancer. And it's very much not about you, in the sense that, like, oh, I have to get really deep around what this means about me. You already know what that is. So it's more about the willingness to sort of uproot this thing that's been gifted to you, right? Passed to you by the family. There's this sense of reverence about it. And then you're sort of like, oh, okay, I did agree to that. Now I'm ready to change that. And so you can pull that up and you can pass it on. You can put it back in the earth. Don't worry about the Cancer. Like, just don't give it that worry attention. It's a teacher. It's like it's walking alongside as a teacher. The other things that are happening are shifts in your vibration. The car accident is partially, not really though. There's, it's more like listen. It's not slow down, it's listen. Yeah, it's definitely more like just listen. In fact, there is a speed to what's happening here, right? There's a speed to what's happening. You're unfolding. So you have your foot on the pedal. You can do that. So, okay, so let's tune in to a year from now. Ooh, I'm loving the feeling of this. Lots of colors, lots of colors. There's an opening whereby multicolored energy, very beautiful, but not in streams of colors in these odd shaped blocks, almost the way a wall gets put together when they pick up just stones of all different sizes and shapes and they kind of fit them together. It's sort of like that, like a mosaic of colored energies are just bathing you a year from now. It's lots of creativity. It's lots of freedom and being outside the box. It's lots of bathing yourself in the energies of color. It's very, they have a little bit of a butterfly wing feeling to it, how it has all the different little compartments all drawn with the black around it, the different shapes. there's an aspect of that about birthing your wings, but it's not wings like, oh, I'm growing these wings. It's the allowance that you don't just have the skill, but you have the right to fly. You have the right to shine very, very bright, very, very colorful. And you have the right to go where the wind takes you. And this is a message from your soul, from a very deep part of your soul. It's really just coming through you in a year from now. So the feeling behind this is to really embrace your colors, embrace your uniqueness, your difference, and immerse yourself in being able to step into that energy of living with this constant blessing of all of this variety, opportunity, uniqueness, just everything you could imagine. There's a sense of freedom and adventure and flow to them. And opening your healing business, just let the other fears come up, write them down, verbalize them in some way, give them a voice, do some energy work on them, come talk to me. We'll talk about some other ways to do that. You could do the Light Body course where you learn how to move and process a lot of these kinds of energies. But you've got such a gorgeous energy field to move into. And it's, again, it's an allowing. This isn't a striving. This is nothing to do with striving at all. All right. Yay! Let's do another one. Let's see here. Yes, I agree. Christine said, I love the shift that happens when we make a decision. That's why I call it your magic wand, because it isn't until you make a decision that you give permission to your mind to tell you about all the possible solutions. So when you stand, I'm not going to go to that retreat in the Mayan Riviera in the fall until I know I have all the money or whatever. So I have the time. Whatever you perceive as the block, then you're not making the decision. But if you make the decision, I'm doing it no matter what, I'm putting some money down or whatever your thing is, and then you tell yourself, we're doing this, show me how, right? And all these possibilities show up that you can't see because your mind is not going to show you a bunch of things you don't need. If you haven't decided that you're going to do whatever it is you want to do, you're not going to have access to all of the information. The people won't start popping up and opening doors for you. So let's see. Anne says, last week I stepped into my speaking and music business. Yay! In a much bigger way. I took a leap of faith in myself. I'd love to hear from my future self if it paid off. New Year's Eve 17, or how long until it will? Also, will I be with a soulmate by then? So the soulmate is very close. That really sparkled with some energy there. So let's see. And okay, so let's tune in here. Ooh. Well, you're doing something really, really fun on New Year's Eve. And there's 3 different ways. I mean, there's many, but there's 3 different optimal ways that it can show up for you. So this is very much, this is the message that's been coming up with the full moon energy, is like the choices we make right now. You know, like Julie deciding to join the Light Body Healing class, her decision has already shifted her entire reality, right? And doing it right now is opening up energies for her to move into that wouldn't be possible unless she made that decision, right? Because now her higher self or other parts are like, oh, wow, she's going to learn these skills. We're going to be able to talk to her more. We're going to be able to do this. Yes, you know, kind of thing. So with you, it's very interesting. The way that New Year's Eve can unfold based on some of the choices you make. So it's 100% behind the vibration and how you feel when you make that choice. The choices are going to be made internally, right? Internally meaning in your mind, in your emotional field, or, things like that. And so what you want to do is ask yourself, I want to be consciously present making this choice. And they're going to be different levels. Like you're going to be involved in this great, New Year's Eve thing. One option is you're involved in it and you meet people, okay, that then can open up your career. Another option is you're involved in it where you're actually a part of either being an MC or being featured in some way, maybe not in a huge way, but you've already connected to the people and all those opportunities are opened up. Or the third option is that you're very involved in it, meaning you speak, maybe you play the music, you're connected to the people there, you get a lot of invitations afterwards. So those are the three most likely possibilities right now. That's what's coming through for New Year's Eve. Now let's tune in to a year from now. So that's interesting. So what you're being shown is that things are going well. The speed, the level, the road that you take. You can ride your bike there. You can take the country roads there in a car, or you can get on the freeway, right? It's sort of like that. And you're in charge of the speed. We're always in charge of the speed of our growth and our changes. So when it gets to be too much is happening, we can say, slow down, I need a breather, and you can start revving up again. The biggest question you want to ask, and this is what you in a year from now is saying, the biggest question you want to ask is, what's underneath what I think I want, right? So the way it's being shown to me is, instead of saying, I want to be X, right? I want to be on stage with a band on New Year's Eve at the biggest hotel in Vegas, blah, 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 right? Instead of that kind of choice or decision, or request, choose from how it feels. I want to have a New Year's Eve experience that makes me feel the most fulfilled, the most on purpose, enjoying and delighting with the most people, that my participation in it both raised my energy and theirs and started the next year off. Really like tuning into your energetic and spiritual purpose for being there on New Year's Eve, right? And then letting the how, the what to form around that. So that's a distinction that's highly recommended by your future self. There's a blending that you're being shown to do. Don't separate the music from the speaking. Use them both, blend them in some way, draw on your other talents, create a multi-sensory type of experience for people, make yourself stand out, and start to look for off the beaten path type of venues and opportunities to bring your unique experience to people. Ooh, that was cool. Okay, let's do another one. Cool. I'm just reading here. Okay, so this is what's jumping out at me right now is Jacqueline. Hope I'm saying that right. You're a teacher. So Jacqueline says, aside from all of my issues, I love how you put that. I am currently on target to receive my degree in complementary and alternative medicine, but I'm starting to doubt if it is my path. So let me see here. You know, the first thing I got was that you were a teacher. And so, however, when you get that degree, how you use it will be born through who you are at that time. So the big thing for this is that go forward with it. But I think I was talking earlier about, you know, if you're a musician, you don't have to choose to say, oh, I have to suffer for 20 years because that's what all the big people did in the past, and so I have to too, right? You can choose your own thing. So there's some reason that you're getting that degree, that it's going to be skills and understanding and whatever, right? You're gaining, it's the butterfly fighting its way out of the cocoon. You're gaining the strength for what you're going to do. So the real thing is to begin to continue to learn it, to bring the information in, and then ask yourself, how am I going to use this? What can I do? I like to think of it as being playful. So let's tune in and see what your future self says. Yeah. Well, the first thing was, you know, finish the degree. Okay, so what I'm hearing is, like who we spoke to earlier, that lady was like, I'm keeping my job, but I want to increase my, you know, my business. Similar to that, right? Letting it grow organically, and come out of it. There's a very, is it a, so we're just going to tap away right here between your eyebrows. There's a very, it's not a knot. It's like a knife wound. This is how it feels to me. A cut, a gap, a severing. Oh, a disconnection. Okay, got it. So there's a disconnection from, yeah, from being able to see what it is that you're going to be, because there's too much conversation in your head about trying to make it make sense or make it acceptable. Different ways of looking at it, right? So it's like, well, you know, I'm a doctor, but I want to do, you know, spiritual healing now. What people think, that type of thing. But it's more than that. Let's see. Okay. See how that feels. I'll just open up the pathway there a little bit. Get some circulation moving through there. Yeah. So this is really just a symptom of a block in your inner vision. For starters, one, you don't need to know. You can let it unfold, which is ultimately how you want to live. Okay. But what I'm seeing is that in the next year, you're going to clear out your vision. You're really going to up-level your skills and ability in your inner and outer vision. That means you might start seeing energies more clearly with your eyes, right? You're going to start to clear your inner eye out and really open it up. That gives you multiple levels, multidimensional levels of vision, right? Where you can start to see, and that might be seeing as knowing or something. You might get a vision or an image. But this is a unique and important skill for you, and you've shut it down. It's very solid. It's like there's a solid, I want to say spike, but it's not. It's more like a very thin tree trunk thing. This goes straight through the center there. And you've had some in the past life type thing. You have some energies of being a seer, right? Seer, having the gift of inner vision, remote viewing, knowing this, and it not serving you well. bad things happening and things like that. So the agreement to shut down that inner vision was keeping you safe. So what you do in the next year is you would dissolve that agreement. You literally burn away this very hard, solid, sort of protective cover you put over that inner vision. And as the visions come up, then the next step is to make sure that you have help understanding them and not judging them. Okay? Those are the main things that your future self is saying that you do in the next year to really make a profound difference. All right, cool. Let's do a couple more. Okay. Make Sharon. Learning to heal severe spinal stenosis and need to make decisions without the huge struggle of what my family thinks. I want to do laser and stem cell, but it is extremely expensive and terrified to spend the money. Got it. Love what you said there. Thank you too, sweet, precious goddess. Okay, so Sharon, I think I was seeing you before on the screen. Okay, so Sharon. Okay, so you've been down this path before, and you have had a knowing that healing was possible, and you healed yourself repeatedly. However, you made a choice to apply your trust in, natural methods and healing of the body and that to, and keep saying a child. I don't know that it was your child. You keep saying a child that you were very, very connected to. I guess it's like a little sister maybe. And you were left in charge, and you made choices about the healing, and she died. That's the primary one that I'm being given. That says, okay, so what you're saying to you here is that this is the core pattern that's underneath it. It's all you really need to know if other stuff comes up as you're letting it go. So I'm just gonna move some energies. I'm just looking for you here. Oh, that's what it is. Making decisions without the huge struggle. One of those exact words. So it's not about the money. Don't make your decisions based on the money. Make the choice that this or something better, what is the ideal healing method for you, will become available in a way that works. Okay, so take off all the beliefs that you have around what can happen, how it might be paid for, if it will cost anything, whatever. Okay, that the stress of trying to make that decision from that perspective never works. Okay, so you're not going to make a correct decision for your soul or your heart coming from that place. So your future self is asking you to please let go of that. There's many, many, many more answers to how and where and what that you want to be open to. You want to stay 100% focused on the solution. And this is where you unhook, and that's literally what I'm being shown, to unhook some of the emotional ties, as you've said, to your family and what they think. Nobody is going to be pleased with what you do. Everybody's going to have some level of fear. What you need to do is unhook so that you can breathe some space between you to see that their actions, their thoughts, if it's cruel, if it's nice, if it's needy, if it's inappropriate, if it's angry, whatever their response is, it's theirs. You don't have control over how they're going to act or if they're going to like it. And you don't have the luxury of waiting for their approval. So it's very important that you unhook from those and with great love, make the choice once and only once you've gotten yourself into a space unhooked from your emotions and ties to what anyone else thinks, especially your family, right? And completely aligned with whatever is best for you, okay? So making that choice, that frees you to make a decision based on your soul, right? Based on what's best for you. Feel free to ask me on Facebook about Tracy Thompson. I'll connect you. She's one of our clients who healed herself from cancer without going down the doctor route. Her doctors were very mean. Her family was very mean. Nobody agreed with it. It scared the crap out of everybody. So you remember that their fear and their judgment and whatever they say is coming from their fear, and that they want you safe. But that right now is your choice. You're being asked to fully step into doing what you know is best for you. And you have to let go of any fear, like, oh, what if I make the wrong choice? What if they're right? What if this or that? That's not the conversation. You're making the choice of the next best step on your soul's path. So come and have a conversation with me if you want. We can go deeper on it. But this is very, very strong that you have to unplug from those other energies to make a decision that's not only going to be correct for you, but that you're going to be 100% aligned with, right? All righty. So let me see. Let me just say, if Ronnie's here, you can unmute yourself. And I'm just going to scroll through here. I think I'm going to do one or two more of these readings. Wonderful. So I was going to say something about Joya here, but she says, thank you, Nan. Every share seemed to have something for me. Thank you. I have to leave. I completely appreciate all that you do and who you are, and you are a blessing. Thank you. I miss you being so near. I know. Many blessings, dear one, too. All right, so Jody, I have a lot of anger inside of me, and most of the time I'm kind, loving, and give to others. Will I ever be able to get rid of this anger? Absolutely. Sometimes it feels like you can't. And I understand that, but remember, anger is just an energy, right? And it's not that it's bad energy or wrong energy. It's just a particular kind of energy. And that's why typically we don't want to stay in it. We want to use it. It's very, very powerful, but it's very intense. So in a minute, we're going to come back and I'll do a message from your future self, Jody, around, how it was best for you to handle the anger. For me, I had to make a decision because I was told my whole life it's inappropriate, so I never expressed anger. I had to give myself permission during my divorce. I told my partner to leave the house, and for a couple of days in a row, I just allowed myself to feel, yell, scream, cry, whatever, right? I don't remember what all I did. It lasted probably 3 weeks where I had to take time every day to let it go. That surprised me, but the most important thing is that anger is stored energy that needs to be expressed, heard, and seen, not held onto and moved through you, right? So we'll do that, and then just looking for one other person. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Jacqueline says, I wonder if waking up with headaches the last few days has anything to do with the spike in my inner and outer vision. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's just like there was just like this very solid thing going right through there. So that's come up for clearing, you know. Let's talk. I can see what we can do for it, but it's in process now. But everybody take care of yourself. Do a nice shower after this or something. Okay, I think we're gonna do Jody and okay, looks like, I'm sorry, I can't see really well. These are like old glasses and they're not strong enough, so I'm trying to read the names here. Leah and Gia. Or was it Jody? It was Jody and Leah and Jody. I'm gonna write this down. And Gia. Okay, cool. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to do those last two readings and stick around for them because, like Joya said, in every one of them, there's a message for you too. And then if you give me just a second here, I want to share something with you. So let's recap for a minute before we go into this. In the beginning, we'll get the replay out to you in the morning. The full moon energy is still going for several more days. Take this opening, this healing that we opened in the beginning of the call. If you came on later in the call, even if you didn't hear it, you stepped into a healing zone, a healing coning here that we created that is riding the energies of this full moon, which is accessing your personal power, unlocking that within you, as well as a higher state of consciousness so that you are a high vibrational consciousness using your personal power. There's a lot, weird. There's a lot of things going on that allow you right now to release things much more quickly, to step into your power, to own your voice, to see some things that are really clear that you couldn't see before. So that's why doing some things along with the energies is so nice. I didn't used to pay a lot of attention to it until I started to do a lot of goddess work. And, we would do full moon ceremonies and things like that. And it was so beautiful to stay in that energy. So what we're going to do is take these energies, and over the next week before our next healing call next week is really focus on that personal power. So like I said earlier, whatever you came, like you might have been focused on money or health or some whatever, now you're going to take the personal power aspect of it and the higher consciousness of it and apply it to that particular area. So, okay, now let me go back here and I don't know why it does this. Okay, that's not it. There we go. Huh, interesting. All right, so while I'm doing a little bit of tech work here to make this work, just relax while we spend this last 15-20 minutes together in this beautiful energy. I've got next to me some crystals and different energies and things, and there's an interesting essence to this full moon that is really, it's a co-creative kind of energy, even though it's very potent, so to speak, like it's very strong. All right, so hopefully you're seeing my screen. supposedly I'm sharing my screen now. Yay. And so this is where you go if you want to read more about the Light Body Healing Certification, anacostia.com/lbheal. I recommend anybody who wants to talk to me in the next couple of weeks. We start in the middle of June, so you've got over a month before it starts. We've got a fantastic course for you to get started with. Depending on what you do, you can do the course, you can do the certification, but this is what it's going to do. It's going to accelerate your awakening. So all the stuff we're talking about today, you're knowing about what's going on, you're seeing the meaning in your experiences, you're knowing what your purpose is next, activating your light body, right? That's clearing, cleansing, healing, finding out things in your past, finding karmic loops, igniting your purpose, clearing away anything that gets in the way of you knowing, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to give everything away and go traveling the world, whatever that is. So this is the first course, like I said, in the Mystic Arts Healing Academy. And really believe that if you're ready to unleash the secrets of your soul, right? The skills you've had, the talents you've had, to understand why you have certain affinities to certain things, to start to, really use those powers that you have that come from your past lives, where it's blocks that you're going to release yourself from, or talents that you've carried that you're going to bring forward, your healing abilities, and this serves your personal mission. So you can be a healer and come and do this class, or you can just do this for your own personal growth and skill to communicate with your higher self, to be able to heal yourself, to get more answers. So this is how you understand the secret to completing karma. Activating emotional empowerment. We've talked about that today. How do you take the emotions that come up and see them as a communication or a power tool? Whoa. And instead of letting emotions run the show, right? Fears or fear of disappointment or any of that stuff. So coming to this, working with your light body, you're going to accelerate your healing. You're going to, whether that's mental healing, whether it's emotional healing, whether it's physical healing, whether it's healing of your spirit and your soul paths. You can see what you're next, and really does accelerate your spiritual awakening. So if you're a healer, if you're a coach, if you work with people in any way, whatever technique you have, whatever you're using, this will enhance and up-level and accelerate your skills. So you're going to be a more powerful healer. You're going to be a more intuitive psychic or mentor. You're going to be a much more in-tune creator. All of those things will be up-leveled by this. So remember that what we're doing is just simply activating what's already there, the essence of you as a temple of healing, magic, and light. You're made of this incredible structure. Yes, some of it is chakras, some of it is meridians, some of it is subtle bodies and things, but this goes very deep, and it pulls together all the other things around spiritual knowledge and knowing of your purpose and connecting to that. So you will be able to know, read, activate, clear, and heal your light body and others. So check it out. Go to anacostia.com. We have a special this month. I want you to tune into All You've Been, All You Dream of Being, because when you're in that place, you are able to make a bigger difference in the world. We want to unlock what you're encoded for in your DNA in different levels and show you how to do that through light body activations, sound healing, energy attunements. We do sacred activations. I'm going to attune you to each level. You're going to learn much more about sacred geometry and symbols and how to use those, how to create energy spheres and do a gratitude bomb like we did earlier, or a love infusion, how to read and understand the things that are happening to you in your life to find the thread. So all of these things and more are possible. You can heal yourself, you can heal the planet, you can heal animals, you can heal spaces, environments, houses. And we're going to really go deep all the way into practical. You're going to apply this to yourself. You're going to transform yourself. And then we're going to play with this energy. And I'm going to show you how to apply it to the world, and how to apply it to clients, and how to apply it to your finances, how to apply it to everything, to heal, which means become whole and to vibrate at that exact soul signature frequency that's best for you. So in order to become a master manifester, healing and manifesting are the same thing. You're creating. We're going to go deep into vibration, light structure, and communication, how to all of those together. We're starting in June. You've got an opportunity to have a 4-month payment plan to pay for either level. And if you start now, you get the course that you can start to work through if you have time. You're going to literally up level your skills to be able to begin or to better see with your physical eyes the matrix, right? Light, energy, movement. You're going to perceive it. You're going to increase your ability to receive, whether you get feelings or knowings, or you see colors, or you get downloads, or you go to bed and get dreams with specific instructions, like my boyfriend does. You're going to be able to begin to understand how those ways of you receiving information are now, you're going to be able to read blocks, contracts, soul purpose blueprints in your body and in other people's, and then you can activate and clear it. So I mentioned that you have 360 senses. We're going to do more with that. And you're a multidimensional person. We're going to tap into that. That's going to awaken your healing powers and accelerate your spiritual growth. So nanakasha.com, lbheal/lbheal. There's a lot more information. There's some special pricing right now this month. And there is more on what, where, when, and how. And there's videos of people I've worked with. And if you're just a person who'd just much rather talk to me, and we'll do a little reading and what's going on for you, then hit reply to any email we have, or go here somewhere on this page. There is a talk to me button. If you look at my calendar and you can't find a good time, which commonly happens, please just email Donna at support@nanakasha.com, and then we will be sure to find a time, because I'm more than happy to do an evening or weekend or whatever, but I'm not going to have my calendar open for that. So let me go back now and see if I can stop. There we go. Stop share. So, okay, wonderful. So that is the first class in the school. And what I would love is, if you are interested, but you feel like the timing isn't right for you, or you have too much on your plate. I've talked to several people who are like, I know I'm meant to do this, but I'm moving, or something like that. Would you talk to me or send me a message anyway? I want to have feedback for who's attracted to it, right? And who might want to take it the next time around or whatever, because this is the launching of a whole school that's going to be a series of different things, increasing your skills in channeling, right? Communicating energy and directing energy and different healing and things. This is the foundation course, though, that's going to be the grounding for that. So I'd love to talk to you or hear from you. And I would love for you to think about coming to the retreat. So that's at blissliferetreats.com. That's where we do the dolphin healing. We go to the sacred sites. We bathe in the waters. We do lots of energy work. The people at this one, it was my favorite event I've ever done or been to, bar none, which is saying a lot. And it went so seamless, and the people who came together were so perfect. And it was profound to see the deep shifts. So that's what you come to if you want to have a lot of fun and you want to have a massive shift, right? Really have, because we pull together every possible type of energy. Okay. Now, so try to push this out. There we go. All right, so Jody, I'm gonna let's see what Jody's future self says. Whoops. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll talk. Sharon says she's very interested and would like to talk about it. Jacqueline's very interested and currently in school. So yeah, so what we can do is, I'd like to talk to you, because that gives me feedback on what are the different ways to help people who are interested in this, and schedule wise and other things like that. So, maybe next, I need to consider in the school having evening classes or whatever. So letting me know, that's really awesome. Thank you. Oh, Randy, my love. You can survive another year. It's what I see is you making that choice. And it's going to be a lot about finding a reason. Yeah, finding a reason that's enjoyable for you to stay, regardless of if anything changes, right? In that sense. Yeah. It's very much about letting go of the sides of the river, Randy, and then floating to the center. Just keep your head up, keep your eyes open, look who's in the current with you, right? And talk to them and celebrate. You're going to find something that has meaning. You've got to have something that's meaning. That's why it's unequivocal that people have to follow their purpose now. Okay. So we're going to wrap this up. Let's see. Jody says that I have a lot of anger inside me, and most of the time I'm kind, loving, and give to others. Will I ever be able to get rid of this anger? So as we start, I'll let you know, absolutely, of course, you're a divine master being. You absolutely have the power to choose to be in and out of these places. What you want to do is a combination of the acceptance process, right, Jody? So as I'm beginning to just tune into your future self, I'm going to share with whatever's coming through. Yeah. So first is an acceptance of the anger, that it's not inappropriate, but that it's showing that you're still attached to something. So you're going to bring it out and have a party, like a big bowl of popcorn. And you can say, woo, check it out. You know, look at all this anger I have. And, you know, we try to keep it bottled up. It stays stuck. Okay. So again, like I've mentioned to a lot of people, letting it go, finding different ways to let it express. You know, like I used to live in California, and I would walk on the beach, and it's very, very loud, crashing waves. And I could go when there weren't any people there very easily. So I could walk down, I could sing and chant out loud, I could scream and yell, I could cry, I could whatever. Like I would find a way to have a way of letting that out. And we have to diffuse that. It's like a big gas bubble inside of you. We can't just ignore it. It's got to like be let out. So the perception, the interesting thing that your future self is saying is that with a sort of a little bit of a smile, like a side of the mouth smile, sort of a little wry smile, is who is the person telling you, you know, I'm loving and giving, but, you know, am I ever going to get rid of this anger, right? Who would say that? Who would think that? It's not your nature. It's not your encoding to hold on to that, because it's a ridiculous statement. It's a statement of a little kid who's mad. I'm never going to ever stop being angry, right? Or it's the statement of somebody who feels helpless or powerless. It's a statement of somebody who's trying to drag everyone else down. So that's not your conversation. And so there's sort of a little wink there from your future self, like, you know what I'm talking about? Now is the time to address that. Now is the time to address that person or that pattern that you've taken from that person. People, I see a couple of people. But yeah, that's the secret. That's the secret right there. So you probably see me do this. The simplest thing is sort of like, imagine putting the anger back in the box. Like, I'm never gonna be able to let go of this anger. I can't ever get past what's been done to me, or I can't ever whatever. Or if you don't know why you're angry, I definitely would pull the lid off of that one. You don't need to know, but you want to let it come up. And then if you remember or you see it, great. But your intention is that it's going to move. That the reason for the anger, you're a little bit of a powder keg in that area, right? You've been holding back, you've been suppressing feelings, suppressing voices, not just this lifetime. This is the lifetime you came to blow the lid off of that. So literally, that's kind of how I'm seeing it. And it's very, very much tied to one or two people that you have very strong karmic agreements to behave in a certain way. You don't feel recognized, acknowledged, recognized. Your skills, your talents, your gifts, it's not about being loved as much as it is about your gifts. Perfect. Well, so what I'm seeing is like, get angry in a way and in a space that you can throw a temper tantrum and release that energy. around, it's very much like I am like kick-ass good. I am like so good, and I'm not recognized. Nobody recognizes how great I really am. But there's a part of you that can't really say that yet. So that's a big step. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And then you're going to be very empowered to not only just get over the anger, but to move any kind of energy. Okay, so Gia. Love that name. Gia. So I've been recovering from a car accident and brain injury for a number of years and would really like to move forward. But I can completely understand that. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to put my headset back in. So I'll just mute myself. Supposedly I've got that now. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, good. So Gia's been recovering from a car accident and brain injury. When you have something this major, right, which I'm sure you're aware of, it's a huge, huge up-leveling. It's a massive deconstruction of reality, of past patterns. There's different elements in everybody's that are very unique. Part of yours was a mission of reliance, needing to be in a position where you could allow people to support and help you because you've not had a lot of that in the past and you've not had a lot of faith in that. The part of you, obviously, nobody likes to take a lot of time to sit around and heal. But there's something that you're still being asked to gain from how you're able to function in the world right now, right? So there's sort of this showing me, look at everybody else. They don't have a reason to slow down. They have to go to school, go to work, go here, go there, do this, do this. That this experience of the accident and the brain thing and all that is it gives, it's almost a shield that I'm being shown, that it's giving you this space to, whereas there's some pain and struggle and healing and everything like that, that a lot of the purpose for this space is for you to take advantage of that opportunity to just be, right? To be with yourself, to be connected to that next level. So challenge that. That's the path out of this. You don't have to wait till this is over. You can start living now, more exciting life, right? A more exciting adventure, a more purposeful and meaningful venture. So for me, that would look like when I had my fall, I was told spiritually and from that level, lay down immediately, don't think, don't move, be in the dark, so on and so forth. Then shortly after, the physical symptoms showed up that made it impossible for me to do that. While I was in it, instead of being focused on when will it be over, which would have been nice, and it was of course much short-lived than yours, but that's of course going to be our natural human personality thing. I want this to be over. I wish I could walk more, do more, swim more, whatever, right? All those desires are great because it's part of your healing to have a goal. But the completion needs to happen, and it needs you to take that cocoon in a way that you're in and say, what are the aspects of the experience I'm having right now that are actually beneficial, that have a space I could go in because it's unique and I can't be in this kind of space any other time, right? Yeah, there's this very, very joyous feeling about just stay Instead of being anxious about it being over, anxious about it changing, it is and it will. Okay. But be almost like what you tell a kid, like, oh man, enjoy being a kid. Because when you grow up, you got all these responsibilities. But as a kid, you can't really appreciate it and know it. So it's not like your lesson isn't learned yet. You're not appreciating this beating we just gave you on a spiritual level. But it's definitely that the vibration, the energy, the perspective, the unique opportunity that this is, to have any kind of limitations, or to have, not be going to work, or whatever is unique around your circumstance is a gift. And it's not like get the message so you can get out of there quick, but that's definitely a key, right? There's a lot of joy and lightness in you a year from now, and humor, great humor. Yeah, the lightness is definitely around releasing attachments to other things as well. So acceptance, again, like we talked about earlier, is accepting, okay, right now I feel kind of like this, so I'm just going to be with it, right? Oh, okay, I'm accepting that this pattern is done, this time in this healing is done, and then whatever this was for is now ready, and I'm ready to step into it. I'm accepting not knowing what's going to happen next. I'm accepting, right? Just like using that acceptance tool as a decision to be in the moment. And that also becomes the fun, the joy, some of the visions, some of the experiences, some of the things you're shown, some of the skills you up level by going through boredom or frustration or pain. Right? We develop mental strength and other things like that. Gia. So Gia, you are showing me a bridge, and this future you is standing on the other side of the bridge with a big smile and open arms. And just sort of like cheering on, like cheering on somebody in a race, like, yes, come on, oh, this is going to be so awesome. And there's a very, very sincere and sweet desire for that part of you to communicate with you, to be your guide, to help you through going from where you are now to where you are there. So it's a vibrational journey, and you have support. So that's the other part is sort of take the hand, sort of being shown like take the hand, the helping hand. Wonderful. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for being with me on the full moon. I hope you go out and you create crazy, awesome shit out there with this energy. Remember to continue to see where it's going to show up, that you can access your personal power at a more potent level. I love that word potent. That's what really kept coming forth in that. Thanks to everybody. Like I said, we're going to give you the replay. We've got another call in a week. We're going to go into manifesting and money. The cool thing is, like, healing and manifesting to me are the same thing. So activate your light body. Go in and get control of, take back that mastery of your emotional mind and your mental mind, and learn to move the energies and to see them and read them and see the purpose underneath everything. And let these energies that are pouring in now raise your consciousness and pour you down the river. I loved playing with you today. I loved the healings. I loved the readings. I hope you come back next week for the fun. I will continue to move through everybody. Donna's going to keep a record of the entire chat here, so we can make sure that anybody I didn't talk to gets a chance next week. In the meantime, reach out to Donna, reach out to me on Facebook. I'll send an email to support@nanakasha.com, and let's talk. If you want to join the healing course, if light body healing, it's nanakasha.com /LB heal, and we can chat. If you want to come to the retreat, if you want to do both, or if you just want to talk about where you are right now and I can give you the best possible advice, I'd love to do that. Thank you. I love you, everyone. And let me see. I think I'll just unmute real quick and everybody can say bye. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Go spread that moon energy. Woo, 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 woo. Woohoo! I know. I agree. Marnie, call me. I want to talk. And Christine too. How delightful.
Hey, Nan,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just ended up taking notes for the last part of it and most of the readings. Would you like me to email it to you if you want to send it out?
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Aren't
Yeah,
you
you
the
bet.
sweetest thing?
I don't promise it'll be edited, but I'll send it out. I'm pretty fast, so I got a lot of what was in the reading.
I know. I've seen you type. You're a whiz. Yeah, you're a whiz. So, oh, wonderful, honey. I'm so excited that you're going to be in this class with us. We're going to
Me
have
too.
so much fun.
I can't wait. Am I going to get the other course so I can start now?
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. So either today I got to get off here and
Nice.
see
You
you.
and Donna.
Yeah. Mwah. Love you guys. So let me see here. Bye. Stop the recording.